This is the mysterious Pangu Continent. Everyone is still hiding in the safe zone. But you have already surpassed the divine. All because you landed 500 years ahead of schedule. Not only can you freely pick up rare and earthly treasures, he also awakened titanium alloy eyes that allow him to explore all things. Now, you howl lonely to the sky. Who introduced you to someone? The fluffy morning sunlight is perfect for sleeping. There was a knock at the door. It's already 10 o'clock. I kindly bought you breakfast. After breakfast, he began to manipulate his newly awakened superpowers. Alternate space. A space that can only hold oneself and be able to observe the outside world. It can last up to 2 to 3 hours at most. If too long, they will become mentally exhausted and unconscious. This spatial capability, speaking of being upscale, in reality, I don't know what use it might be. The Ethereum psychic network was successfully built. A total of 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 6 intelligent civilizations were selected. Whoever is talking. You look around. I thought I was hallucinating. This is the primordial interstellar alliance. 9th era civilization selection. The Pangu Continent is in the process of being formed. Earth's human race. 17 cities represent 17 branches of human civilization. Currently teleporting to the safe zone of the Pangu Continent. What kind of thing? Selection of the primordial star alliance civilization. When you are in another dimension, your face full of reluctance. The ground beneath my feet suddenly vanished. The earth is gone too, and you yourself float in the universe. A famous saying flashes through your mind. This is a small step for me. It is also a big step for humanity. I am the first person to fly into the universe in physical form. The answer is, the earth is gone. But I stayed where I was. Wait, what that is? Each city looks as if wrapped in soap bubbles. A total of 17. At a breakneck speed, flying in a certain direction. These cities are heading towards safe zones. Take me with you. I'm also a member of humanity. You shouted loudly. But no one pays attention to you. I don't know how long it took. A cold voice rang out again. Please note, all civilization branches have reached the safe zone. The flow of time within the safe zone. Only 1% of the Pangu Continent. Each civilization may vote to remove the safe zone. Explore the Pangu Continent. 9th era civilization selection. Officially started. You are in despair. A brief analysis of the purpose of the Interstellar Alliance. Selecting the strongest civilization. Every city represents a civilization. Which civilization completes internal integration? A nationwide referendum was held to abolish the safe zone, officially set out for the Pangu Continent. Of course, or they can always lie in the safe zone. The price is that other civilizations develop for 100 years. You only develop in the safe zone for 1 year. This is tantamount to self-destruction. But what does that have to do with me? Is it a civilization for each person? Next, the so-called Pangu Continent slowly appeared in the universe. This continent is just too vast. It's basically an infinite extension of Earth. You suddenly realize, you yourself are only tens of thousands of meters above the ground. A surge of excitement surged in his heart. Is there hope for me? A finger extended out of another dimension. Affected by gravity, the soap bubbles in the alternate space began to slowly fall freely. I don't know how long it took. Snapped. It feels great to be grounded. This Pangu Continent seems a bit different. The trees are 300 to 500 meters tall. The roar of a beast could be faintly heard. How can I survive? I didn't even bring a small knife. He only had one phone on his entire body. The cold voice rang out again. A civilization milestone system is being generated. Warning about missing branches of civilization. Race, human. The 18th branch of human civilization is being added. Current total population, 1 person. Civilization number, 7812 HSKKJ 18. Please remember your civilization number. Congratulations to the civilization you belong to. Achieve the only milestone, the first pioneer of the 9th era. Achievement requirements. The first civilization to leave the safe zone. It took him a while to react. The Interstellar Alliance really treats you like a civilization. Truly dark humor. Humanity hasn't fought a decade of tug-of-war. It is impossible to reach a consensus. Be bold. Eliminate safe zones within 20 years. It was already a miracle on Earth. A safe zone for 1 year. I've already passed 100 years now. It's dead. However, at that moment, the cold voice spoke again. Your civilization has earned milestone rewards. The eyes of a pioneer. This ability can display most item information, randomly obtained by 1 person. Rewards are being delivered. I was the only one in the 18th branch. What'll be random? In a flash, a beam of light hits your right eye. When you wake up drenched in sweat, he found he had gained an extra ability. It is called the Eye of the Pioneer. He instinctively glanced at the ground. A boring weed. Inacuity. With your digestive level, you can't digest it. Want to experience the trouble of constipation? You can eat some. A boring weed. The roots are rich in polysaccharides. It can be brewed into water to drink. It can provide a small amount of energy. It has detoxifying and anti-inflammatory effects. The massive feedback from your right eye is almost leaving you dizzy. Cha glanced at his right hand. The right hand of a boring person. Because of years of use, there's a bit of tendinitis. I have to admit it. This ability is extremely powerful. So, can I survive? At least finding food is not a problem. You show a determined expression. Just find enough milestones. He could force himself to become a superhero. Then they trek hundreds of millions of miles. Find a safe zone, leading humanity to its peak. But the next second, a python as thick as a bucket burst out of the river. A somewhat powerful snake. It seems I want to turn you into dung. You are definitely no match for it now. Your pupils dilate. At this critical moment, he used his ability to alternate space. Crash. The python swooped into thin air. It doesn't understand. Why did fatty foods suddenly disappear? We stayed for over an hour. Only then did he swagger away. Unlock the alternate space. Your clothes are soaked with sweat. Luckily, I didn't wait for the right moment. Otherwise, you will die. Picked up a brown snake scale from the ground. Palm-sized, hard as iron. It seems like a pretty good weapon. A flurry of activity. Make a simple handful of celery head. Trailblazers, I prompt. A tool suspected to be celery. It means the user has entered the Stone Age. Carefully walking to the riverbank. Observe. It was very ordinary mountain spring water. The probability of getting sick after drinking it directly is lower. It's best to boil it before drinking. Hold it up with both hands. Took a sip. It has a pure, natural sweetness. He shouted in his heart. Interstellar League, give me a milestone. I was the first person to drink from the Pangu Continent river water. It's a pity. The voice of the reward did not appear. You look angrily at the reflection in the river. A decadent man. He exuded Fan Rant's aura. I couldn't help but laugh at this bizarre remark. Let's get through the night first. Pick up some dry branches. Pull out a few more edible wild vegetables. There are also many insects in the forest. Edible insects. High protein content. After baking, it has a chicken flavor. Keep going. Suddenly, a faint glimmer of light from afar. What is it? You hold your breath. Holding snake scale celery heads. He cautiously explored dozens of meters. On a pile of stones, there was a decaying van. The tire has disappeared. How could there be a car? Suspected to be a relic from a civilization from the 8th era? Your civilization has advanced. So quickly, we encountered the relics of civilization. My civilization is only one person. Getting rich, my point. He glanced inside the car a few times. Inside was a shattered skeletal body. About 1.4 meters tall. Not like humans. Instinctively, they want to stay away. But you need this car to get through the first night. Grit your teeth. Buried the remains in a small depression. He bowed several times again. Just got into the car. A cold warning rang out. The human civilization you belong to. Discover ruins of the 8th Age civilization. Congratulations on reaching the only milestone. The first explorer of the 9th era. Milestone rewards. The explorer's eye. Gain insight into civilization ruins and possible treasures. Randomly obtained by one person. Rewards are being delivered. A beam of white light struck his left eye with precision. He woke up from his coma at dusk. The only milestone now. It is indeed easy to trigger. It can make people lose consciousness. Fortunately, I was sitting in the car. Being picked up by wild animals is no longer fun. Now your eyes are bright. They've all turned into titanium alloy eyes. Use the explorer's eye. Suddenly, a multicolored halo appeared in his field of vision. Red represents risk. Green represents the relics of civilization. Gold represents treasure. What shocked you was, the entire ground was bathed in a green halo. At least one city-level relic has been buried. Occasionally, there are gold and red. The car I'm currently in. But the ruins are just a drop in the bucket. Let's get excited first. Then he deflated. What does it have to do with me? Do you expect me to dig out this city with my own hands? If you have a bowl of fragrant beef ramen, all are placed right in front of you. I would definitely choose the beef ramen. Just thinking about it makes my mouth water. I can't think about it anymore. Dragging the weary child's body. Start the fire. Water, flames, shelter, food. The 4 elements of survival. Indispensable. Like making fire by drilling wood. It's really troublesome. So you have to sacrifice your phone. With a soft boom, the flame symbolizing light appeared. Find a piece of metal sheet inside the car. Bend and polish into the shape of container. Go to the riverbank to get some water. Grassroots vegetable. Put them into a sheet of iron and cook until done. Not very tasty. There is an indescribable bitterness. Sunset. Sitting alone in the forest. A sense of loneliness slowly welled up. Good night. I am today. When you wake up, the sun has risen in the east. A single slap killed the mosquito biting. It turned out it wasn't a dream. He sneezed in dissatisfaction, walking slowly along the valley. Found a metal soda can, and the water leaks without leakage. It can be used as a cup. He also found a car. It's a shame it's bad. Found a dangerous creature. It looks like a leopard. A threatening sound came from his throat. You throw the can out in one go. Syllable. Leopard was startled. He dashed away. If you dare come over, I'll eat leopard meat today. Honestly, they were terrified. He even thought about using the alternate dimension to be the sixth brother again. Unexpectedly, it scared her off immediately. Found. A giant man-eating flower. Branches and leaves cover the sky, covering the ground with dry rice. The main shaft is a full 100 meters tall. A man-eating flower with extraordinary powers. The fruit is rich in nutrients needed by the human body. Unfortunately, you are far from its match. Once close, it will become nourishment. No wonder there are large auras of gold and red. So it was a man-eating flower. The fruit was as big as a soccer ball. That smell is just too good. My lovely interstellar alliance. As long as you let it drop a fruit, I'll kowtow a few times to you. I waited for a long time. No fruit fell. What a disappointment. You won't even give me this little thing. Found 42 red wild fruits. About the size of a peanut. Trailblazers, I prompt. A slightly nutritious, dull fruit. It's non-toxic, but nobody would eat that taste. If no one eats, I do. I was really hungry. The taste no longer matters. The sun rises 3 poles. I can't find anything to eat anymore. I have to go back to eat grass roots and bugs. Deep within the canyon, a large area of collapsed houses shimmered with green and golden halos. Discovered the ruins of the city. He casually dug into the ground. He directly dug out a string of gold necklaces. At least 500 grams per gene. This, I'll come back to get it later. An extra kilogram of weight is simply unbearable. This ruined wall has been around for hundreds of years. Even vacuum-packed cans have rotted. Wandering around for half a day. Simply choose the largest and most complete house. It feels like a refuge. Maybe there really is food inside. A heavy mechanical door. Even without power, it can still be turned on. The password is 20260606. Wow. Is this eye-opening really that amazing? Enter this string of numbers. There was a click. The metal door opened. The rotten air rushed toward him. A black bolt of lightning rushes straight toward your head. Oh my God. Immediately activate the alternate dimension. Take a look at the sunny day. It turned out to be a spider the size of a basketball. The spider is about 2.5 years old. You dare bully me, you rascal. Spiders are also insects. Big and delicious. Driven mad by hunger, you dash out of the alternate dimension. He swung the snake scale celery head fiercely. 2 celery. The spider lies on the ground. He didn't move at all. You're gasping for breath, charcoal grilling a bit. It shouldn't be poisonous, right? Remove the outer shell and internal organs. There are almost 5 gene of meat. Is this a spider? This is clearly a chicken leg. Then came the dark humor. The human civilization you belong to. The first to kill a high-level, extraordinary life form. The hell spider. Congratulations on reaching the only milestone. The first hunter of the 9th era. Milestone rewards. Storage space. It can create a portable storage space. The flow of time and space has almost stopped. Perfectly preserve your loot. Rewards are being delivered. What the hell? This spider is a high-level, extraordinary life form. Maybe it will last another 100 or so years of development. It must be that I don't play fair. The next day, I rushed into the ruins and killed it. Give me a fighting ability. Another familiar light appeared. Hit your mind with precision. It took 2 hours before he gradually came to his senses. Storage space. Unlike your alternate space abilities, it cannot carry conscious beings. Current strength. The approximate cubic meter can be opened. Not bad. Pick up the spider and head inside. This is actually a data centers. Inside the machine room. Packed densely with things that look like supercomputer consoles. Come to the archives room on the lower floor. It is an archival document made of acid-free paper. Trailblazers, I prompt. Deciphering the civilization script. It takes some time to decipher it. Go further. Glass doors blocked the way. Tapped, and it was very solid. Is there anyone? Is there anyone? No survivors. But this data center is a great place. At least it's safer than sleeping outdoors. Comfort yourself. Return to the camping site on the day of the day to retrieve the fire source. This time and again. It was already afternoon. Let's start with a spider barbecue feast. The trailblazers, I started complaining again. The hell spider, just 1 day old. And so, he was ambushed and killed by a shameless attack. If only it could grow for a few years. Perhaps it can provide excellent, extraordinary seeds. Remove the poison glands and internal organs. Other parts are safe to eat. The back has an eyeball-shaped pattern. It has a subtle mental shock slowing effect. Observe that small glow of red light. It should be the poison gland, carefully placed in a tin box. The venom glands of the hell spider contains a fierce neurotoxin. Absolutely not something you can resist. Good thing. Knock off several of the spider's long legs. Start charcoal grilling. A sudden crackling sound rang out. The strange aroma of the fork mixed with the rich aroma of meat. He bit down hard and took a bite. Why does it look so much like beef? Moment. A warm current stirred in my stomach. The energy contained in extraordinary life forms was very high. A single spider can eat for at least 3 days. It's so cool. The Interstellar Alliance was well fed today. I won't scold you. If only he could have a beautiful wife. I'm your super fan. Since the request was made, might as well go a bit further. That wife would be best if she were a goddess descended to Earth. Their combat power is boundless, and it's the kind of love-struck type at that. Boom. The sky was thick with dark clouds. A golden bolt of lightning split the tree in two. In the blink of an eye, heavy rain began. I'm really glad to have found shelter from the wind and rain. In the dim firelight, planning the next steps. Poison glands can produce poison. I need to keep it safe. The hook on the spider's leg. Toothpicks can be made. It's okay. Sewing clothes. As for the internal organs, catch fish. Suddenly, everything was realized. The cold notification sounded again. Unlock all creature attribute systems. Once you have data observation skills, higher-level creatures can observe the attributes of lower-ranked creatures. Come back to your senses and observe yourself. A boring human. After eating, he is using the Pioneer's Eye. Form, 5.4. Chi, 4.5. God, 5.2. Transcendent level, 1. Innate abilities. Alternate dimension, Pioneer's Eye. Explorer Eye, storage space. Comment. This person is mediocre. He hadn't even set foot on the path to transcendence, but possesses 4 innate abilities. Truly a rare sight in the world. Massage your temples. He thought to himself, my power now is too small. Fortunately, beneath my feet lies a relic of civilization. Get some sleep first. Early the next morning, enjoy a spider leg. Begin a life of picking up trash in the wilderness. Not long after, following a streak of golden light, found a storage box, about 1 cubic meter. It's a nice container. He found a 10-meter-long vine. Very solid. Can be used as a rope. Not bad. Found it. A handful of celery. It weighed over 10 gene. Even if it rusts, its lethality is also strong enough to surpass that of Snake's scaled celery head. This is at least an SR-level weapon. In the collapsed house, found another toolbox. Grounded bit. Scissors and similar tools are still usable. In the end, they even encountered a one-eyed wild wolf. A roar right at your gum teeth. But pioneers, I quickly spotted the clues. Pangu gray wolf, wildlife with a very wide distribution. An old wolf driven out of the pack due to old age. Disease and hunger meant it wouldn't survive for many days. Form, 4.2. Chi, 6.8. God, 1.2. Transcendent level, 0. Ability, none. You don't want to eat me, do you? You swallowed hard and stepped forward holding Chintu. The 3-dimensional attributes aren't that great either. I'll chop you to death with my head of celery. Toll. Such a big wolf. He was actually trembling slightly. It fears death. I don't know why. You have developed a hint of hidden desire. Hesitate. He threw in some of the spider's innards. The flesh and blood of extraordinary beings. It's enough for you to have a hearty meal. If you chase after me again, don't blame me for being ruthless. I really want to eat you. You know. Let's go. Arriving at the riverbank. Put the storage box you found inside. Transformed into fishing traps. Add some spider innards. Tie it with vines and sink it to the bottom. Hopefully, tomorrow will bring great gains. This is your 3rd day. Life is so fulfilling. No time to think about all sorts of messy things. Then he drifted into a drowsy sleep. A new day begins. Holding celery heads. At dawn, they hurried to the riverbank. If the fishing trap is a great success, this can solve the food problem once and for all. Traditional crafts are also practiced along the way. Picked up some trash. Semiconductor instruments with broken tin bottles. And a backpack. Stuff everything into the storage space. Then Luxord. The grass found a faint touch of gold in it. What kind of thing? A tin box contained a brown glass bottle. Contains dozens of small red pills. The blazer's right eye provides a message. Medicines containing trace amounts of extraordinary elements. It can boost the immune system. Can treat most bacterial infections. Although it had long expired. But the packaging is meticulous. Maybe it even works. Shipped. At the very least, it's an SSR-level treasure. Could it be that heaven is feeding the wolf? Did a good deed. This led to a major blowout in character. Good luck comes in pairs to the fishing trap by the river. Thud, thud. The large box was trembling slightly. You can be sure there are fish. It's just that the quantity is unknown. Carefully observe your surroundings. Don't get dragged into the river by the river. I don't know if I don't see it. Old wolf, you're not hiding the grass to ambush me, are you? What an ungrateful wretch. Old wolf seemed to know he had been discovered, slowly stepping out from the grass. He shook his dirty big tail. This guy doesn't seem hostile. So you open the fishing box on your own. Boy, there were more than a dozen fish of various sizes. It's bouncing around lively. The largest weighed 5 or 6 gene. You're in a good mood. Pick up a single one casually. Thrown to the old wolf, who kept wagging his tail. Put all the fish into the storage space. He then dissected the internal organs of a large fish. Put it back into the box. Hopefully, tomorrow will bring another bumper harvest. Anglers never go empty-handed. Turning around, he saw the dirty old wolf wagging his tail again. Are you abandoning your dignity at all? He couldn't help but comment in his heart. A bit stupid, a bit scheming. A wolf longing for survival again. You were amused by this guy. I have a bottle of red pills here. I don't know if it works. Let's use you as a test subject for now. If you die, you can't blame me. Living is considered your good fortune. He immediately took out one, mixed into the fish's internal organs. Old wolf looked like a starving ghost reincarnated. Miming finished it in 2 bites. After finishing this, you're also getting ready to go back and cook these big fish. Meanwhile, the old wolf kept a safe distance, slowly following behind you. You think it over and over, and it was not driven away. I've been talking to myself for 2 days now. It's so lonely. How can I relieve my worries? Only the girls can do it. Return to the lower guard headquarters. Raise the flame and start grilling the fish. Old wolf was waiting in a row outside the door. He didn't dare come in. Sigh, let's just leave it at that. You won't be a dog. I'll give you a chance. The fish is indeed delicious, full of wild flavor. It's just that there are a few missing seasonings. Tomorrow, I'll go look at the ruins. Such a big place. It wouldn't be that there was no salt at all. Enjoy it all. Put leftover soup and cold food into a worn-out box. He brought it to the drooling old wolf. It tried to lick a few times. Is this something I, a wolf, can eat? Wolfing down the food to show off its essence. You reach out as gently as possible. He muttered in his mouth. Don't bite me. If you bite me, you'll have a stew dog meat. Ultimately, successfully stroked the fluffy head. It just smells a bit bad. Old wolf's one-eyed man was a bit surprised. The feeling of being fooled was actually pretty good. So it enjoys it more and more. It's getting more and more doggy. Why are there no milestones for domesticated animals? Looking at the old wolf rolling on the ground. Transcendent level, 0. It seems he understands. It seems that only transcendent beings can have it. The next day, honestly, old wolf is really stinky. He dragged him to the river to take a bath. People rely on clothing. Wolves rely on wolf fur. Can be seen. Its health is improving rapidly. Perhaps the little red pill did indeed have its effect. An elderly Pangu gray wolf build an intimate relationship with you. Under your careful nurturing, maybe I can live a few more years. Whoa! Suddenly, it let out a few wild howls, running away like the wind. Take a look at the sunny day. A giant crocodile, nearly 10 meters tall, was quietly approaching. Highlight, an ungrateful trait. Fortunately, they could warn him in advance. It has helped a lot. An hour later, wait for the crocodile to leave. You just exited the alternate space. Find the proudly proud old wolf from the grass. Happy cooperation, buddy. Under Lao Lang's leadership, after a week of simple exploration, he roughly understood the distribution of forces within a 50-kilometer radius. The strongest boss-level creature, undoubtedly, it was that giant man-eating flower, is at the top of the local food chain. The probing attribute panel is just a string of question marks. Within dozens of kilometers, king snakes, scorpions, and donkey-headed monsters also lurk. The 5 mini-bosses, fire lizard and venomous bee king. Sigh. I clearly killed the most promising hell spider in this area, but he was bullied by a little lackey. The days of the underworld at the bottom. It's not easy, but this week, I didn't forget my main job. Or maybe he just picked up a lot of trash. First, the first major piece of waste. A large area of crops, suspected to be potatoes and pumpkins, was found. The plant's tubers and fruits contain a lot of carbohydrates. It's an excellent staple food. There's also a plant that resembles a breadfruit. The fruit is basically ready-made flour. The long-term food problem has basically been met. Sometimes, you will stand on the high ruins, imagining where it will be 100 years from now. Even now, with Lao Lang by his side, you are still getting lonelier. Later, you start exercising like crazy. So lonely. Since finding a stable food source, his thoughts only became complicated. Only by forging oneself to become a superhero. Only then can one soothe a lonely heart. 1 week later, the Superman project ended due to knee pain. Suddenly, a buzzing beak was heard. He walked out the door. It left people stunned. The old wolf actually found a she-wolf. Who is this? Are you the object? You took a look. She really is a she-wolf. Delicate and delicate. Come over and give me a couple of strokes. Please note, the great pioneers has deciphered the Meda civilization script. You can now read information about this civilization. Your heart skipped a beat. Running into the data center, he began reading through those acid-free, paper-free archives. This is the government work report. After the Meda civilization's Goer City arrived in the safe zone, resources are scarce. Many supplies are difficult to replenish. Next paper. When will we be able to withdraw the safe zone? Our Meta civilization has been in the safe zone for 50 years. The outside world has been around for 5,000 years. Next. Our Meta civilization. I've been in the safe zone for a full 70 years. The outside world has already changed dramatically. By the 300th year, the Meda civilization still hasn't advanced into the Pangu Continent. 30,000 years have passed outside. Over time, the Pangu Continent is getting worse. Terrifying disasters occur frequently. We witness the fall of the Sky City, the super civilization outside. There was actually a day when they would perish. The safe zone will not be affected by disasters. What awaits us in the end? Take a deep breath. Will the Interstellar Alliance allow a slacking civilization to survive forever? Concerns now are pointless. You've been on the Pangu Continent for nearly 15 days. Placed in a safe zone. It was only 3.6 hours. Live your own life well. Next, I found another very useful article. Form, chi, and spirit. What does it really represent? According to statistics in Meda civilization, the probability of awakening innate superpowers is 1 in 10. And the proportion of awakened observation ability. About 100,000. My pioneer's eye. 100,000. This ability is truly powerful. No wonder it calls itself a great ability. Back to the point. This paper argues. Form represents physique and strength. Chi is the ability to perceive the outside world. God is the most complex. The most common explanation is the soul. No wonder Old Wolf has a higher sense of danger than I do. Actually makes a lot of sense. Ming. After Old Wolf finished eating, running over to have fun. Go. Busy with important matters. You're watching with great interest. He had no time to pay attention to Old Wolf, the 6th branch of the Meda civilization. After 300 years of safe zone development, the strongest in the army is transcendent level 3. The 3 attributes of form, energy, and spirit are around 18 points. You have no idea how powerful transcendent level 3 is. But I understand deeply. He must embark on the extraordinary path as soon as possible. Now is the most precious period for pioneering. Whether it's a single milestone, or a transcendent life that has yet to grow, even various rare treasures. All of these are easily obtainable. Another week, you are busy with anxiety wells. Transforming into a top student. Study the papers here carefully. Even the college entrance exam has never been this serious. The difference is, poor student Lao Lang, changing girlfriends every day. A pack of she-wolves, each with delicate features and delicate features. Ate a free lunch. He also started lingering there and refused to leave. Today, Old Wolf brought over a mountain chicken. You quickly bleed the pheasant. I made a rustic beggar's chicken. It really smells. How long has it been since I last ate Kendaji? This day. Finally, I found what I was looking for. Extraordinary origins. Currently, there are about 1.05 million natural awakeners in Goer City, but only a very few can cultivate it. Others. Then you need an extraordinary fire seed to continue improving. Pity. We found out too late. Extraordinary spark. You feel a chill in your heart. I don't have either. Keep reading. Afterward, discover that the extraordinary fire seeds also appear on wild monsters. These monsters are all extremely formidable beings. You were stunned for a moment. It's a pity that the purgatory demon spider is too young. It has not yet nurtured an extraordinary spark. If heaven gave me another chance, if only heaven could give me another chance. I still have to kill it. Right now, you must hunt a monster that possesses an extraordinary fire seed. Only then could he continue cultivating with the help of the fire seed. The big boss is a man-eating flower. Definitely not a choice. That thing is too strong. After much thought, you focus your gaze on the fire lizard. This monster lives alone. No need to deal with a large number of henchmen. Wong, he was able to see him. The little devil is difficult, but is driven by ordinary people. Fight against a supernatural monster. The difficulty is truly significant, even if they find guns, ammunition, or other firearms. So many years have passed. It has long been unusable. The best way. Naturally, it was a trap. This trap can at least fit one elephant. Sharpen the steel bars in the ruins. Local thorns. Then he took out the long-treasured spider venom glands. This was the hell spider, the guardian of the high-level ruins. Hope it could just poison him directly. 2 months of preparation quietly slipped by. I've been here for 100 days. I seem to be slowly getting used to life here. Humans. Your day. What happened? Great Interstellar Alliance. Please bless me. If we lose today, it will turn into a pile of lizard droppings. Carrying a backpack full of weapons. Pulling a 50-gene big fish caught by the river. Walking toward the distance. This took more than 2 hours of walking. Arrive at the canyon where the fire lizard resides. The old wolf and several she-wolves didn't dare to step forward. The hair stood on end. It was the absolute crushing power of those in power over those in power. You dumped the fish upwind. It must have smelled fishy. I know the spider venom glands won't easily poison you. Let's have a fierce battle. The fire lizard seemed to be asleep. Waited for more than an hour. Only then did he slowly crawl out of the cave. I actually have to fight such a creature. And a one-on-one fight. Fire lizards ultimately lack intelligence. He stepped forward and swallowed the fish whole, staggering back to the cave. While you wait, worried about another possibility. Is it dead? Because when a creature with the extraordinary fire seed dies, the spark will fade over time. Suddenly, it became real. A thunderous roar echoed. That colossal creature weighing over 10 tons, struggling wildly inside the cave. Your heart immediately races. Pupils contract. Trailblazer, I provides information. A strong, extraordinary lizard-like life form. It seemed to be poisoned by some kind of powerful toxin. But obviously, this toxin can't kill it. Are you really going to challenge it? Perhaps tomorrow they will disappear from the world. I can only challenge it. My passion fades day by day. I want to reclaim the courage that belongs to humanity. Then he roared angrily at the cave entrance. Come on, come eat your grandfather. The fire lizard already suffered unbearable stomach pain. Instantly furious. Diverting hatred. Then each step could cover more than 10 meters. Exuding murderous intent and wild celebration. Your hair instantly stood on end. So I was still afraid of dying. With a turn, start the fastest run of your life. But your speed is no match for the fire lizard. He deliberately moved along the stone snake skin. Boom, boom. The stone is like foam. He was knocked aside by the giant beast behind him. Tender and tender. Old Wolf's voice was howling from afar, seeing the owner being chased. He was absolutely desperate. Continuous high-speed running can leave you a bit exhausted. Are you going to die? Is that all? There is still some distance before the trap. She's about to be slapped to death. At this moment, you hear a burst of wolf arrogance. It was Old Wolf. In the end, it mustered its courage and charged forward. The she-wolves also hid behind her, howling wildly. This is truly a kind of challenge. Old Wolf is smart. It knows where the traps are. So, those old bones, trying to relay the final journey. Don't die. I'll hide first. My nose was sore, thanks to Old Wolf's kindness. Directly activating the alternate space, the fire lizard realized the hateful creature before it was missing. Naturally, the hatred shifted to Old Wolf. Old Wolf was also terrified. They were running around in panic all the way. He even got scared out of his wits. Fortunately, the distance wasn't far. We were almost to the edge of the trap. The fire lizard howled as it arrived. Like a dump truck, a fierce wolf's beak rang out. The Old Wolf was knocked flying more than 10 meters. The fire lizard roared loudly, falling into a trap. A giant rock connected above the trap. In an instant he fell right in. Smash it until it bursts with golden liquid. Spell it. Immediately disabling the alternate dimension. Charging forward with a steel spear. The explorers, I gave a hint. An injured and poisoned lizard-like supernatural being. But be careful. Its vitality remained strong. The wound was slowly solidifying. The next second, looking at the steel spear tightly scraping in his hand. Life is less than 30 years. Like a dream, yet also like an illusion. And once attained life, how could there be anything that does not perish? Leap. I'll borrow your spark for a moment. He jumped directly onto the huge body of the fire lizard, piercing the eyes. Roar. The fire lizard struggled irrationally. In the next moment, a flame burst skyward like a cloud bomb. It's the fire lizard's skill, fire breath. The scorching flames turn stones into magma. Fire breathing is the fire lizard's signature move. It consumes enormous amounts of energy. It won't be long. Luckily, I didn't hit the target. So dangerous, because you immediately hid in another dimension. No harm was suffered. Only the left arm, burned by scorching fuel. Its left eye was injured. There's poison on the spear. The eyes are closer to the head. The spread is faster. The furious fire lizard. drained all the fuel reserves. Suddenly, I realized the fire lizard's body is pressing down on you. It's the rolling of death. The fire lizard wants to use its body weight. I'll crush you to death. Alternate space. The giant beast's body directly overlapped with the space. But the ability to alternate space also has its limits. Multiple activations in a short period. It would consume even more mental energy. That's it. How many times have I played the role of the sixth brother? Unlocking the alternate space. Launch a sneak attack. It stopped. It stopped. It's tired. Fire lizards engage in prolonged, intense movement. Spider venom invades the nervous system. It took away the life force of this giant beast. Infrequent use of alternate spaces. You have also reached your limit. Fell to the ground. Vision begins to blur. Her whole body burned with heat. No one knew where he was injured. In a daze, seeing the old wolf in the distance. Her two front legs scraped at the ground, slowly crawling out from the bushes. Old brother, you're not dead yet. I can't die either. After going back, I'll definitely treat you to a good meal. He pulled out the little spider jerky left in his pocket. Dry chewing. Until dawn. Until dawn. The giant beast lay prostrate on the ground. Not moving. Ha! Joyfully. You burst out laughing. Even if he had no strength left. Or do you make a gesture with both hands to greet the sunlight? A long-lost cold voice echoed in his ears. Congratulations on reaching the only milestone. Cross-border hunters. You are the 9th era. The first crosses 5 extraordinary levels. Hunt the intelligent beings of extraordinary creatures alone. Reward. Eternal body drive. You are extremely exhausted right now. I couldn't even hear the reward description. He simply walked toward the extraordinary fire seed released by the fire lizard. When he woke up from a coma. A few she-wolves are sweetly licking you with their tongues. It did not eat the owner. Pretty good. You've been watching over me all along. Thank you. Ming Ming. Old wolf limped over. You gave a look. An elderly Pangu gray wolf with 2 broken ribs. Was so seriously injured. You probably wouldn't just let it go, would you? Check it out. This guy was in great spirits. He couldn't die. I owe you a life, old brother. And its wives. He stared blankly at the fire lizard's corpse. Then he turned to look at you. His eyes were filled with awe. At this time, a smile appeared on your face, because he could already feel the extraordinary spark leaping in his mind. And milestone rewards. Each eternal body. Developed. The transcendent fire seed needs no further explanation. A skill that can be cultivated. Its 3-dimensional attributes can break human limits. As for the eternal body drive, it is even more powerful. Significantly increases personal lifespan. Gain a small amount of limb regeneration ability. You won't age before your lifespan ends. That's the rest room. The explorers I saw a rich golden glow inside the cave. This fire lizard lair. Could it be that there is some treasure? Pangu Continent safety zone. 17 human cities have only passed in one short day. But it was enough for society to fall into chaos. Network outages, power outages. Even the water supply was cut off. Some choose to hide at home. Some people also started rushing to buy supermarkets. Facing disaster. Everyone's choices are different. There were even young men and women passionately confessing their feelings. The Civil Affairs Bureau suddenly filled up with a registration queue. Yanhai City government. Fully safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of the people. Crack down all types of illegal and criminal activities. Loudspeakers sounded in every corner of the city. This is a war between the brilliance of human nature and the darkness of humanity. Many branches of civilization suddenly collapsed. Fall into a post-apocalyptic carnival state. Yanhai City. Located in the corner of the Pangu Continent. It relies on a large lake. One message after another gathered in the conference room. The grid is still being restored. Power plants have limited coal reserves. It takes about 10 days to use it up. Save it. After the factory shut down, it doesn't use much electricity. Granaries and large logistics centers. Successfully controlled. Save a little. Enough food to supply 10 million people. It can last about a year. The lowest level of network communication has been restored. This emergency meeting, it's called the Yanhai City Survival Conference. Li Chunhong, the top leader of Yanhai City, busy and overwhelmed, but he still made time to visit the Institute of Supernatural Studies. Mr. Li, this is the meteorite that fell from the sky. It has been a full 10 years at our research center. 10 years ago, a meteorite fell from the sky. A large number of superpowered individuals were born. Governments of various countries. All of them unanimously choose to reveal the truth behind hidden mites. Zhang Hui, the chief manager here, reported. This spherical meteorite is about 2 meters in diameter. Weight is about 2 tons. There are 20 screens on it. There are also some button-like things. A meteorite falling from the sky. There are more than 300 in total, spread across the globe, and the cities he crossed through were only 17. Zhang Hui pressed several buttons on the big iron ball. A video call scene actually appeared. The first branch of human civilization. Request a call to the sixth branch of human civilization. Contact successful. Oh my god. Professor Zhang. Oh my god. You have also been teleported here. The screen shows a famous supernatural professor from country A. Mr. Edward. How about your side? Is there chaos? Edward helplessly counted his shoulders. We're in chaos here. Fortunately, we have military protection. Otherwise, the robbers would have rushed to my house. Li Chunhong stood to the side. He almost couldn't contain his inexplicable joy. The best news we heard today. It turns out that human compatriots are even more chaotic than themselves. My friend, take care of yourselves. The distribution distance between cities exceeds 10,000 kilometers. We can't help each other. Only some information can be shared. Professor Edward continued. All safe zones are at the city edges and 50,000 meters above. You can see a thin light screen protecting us. Professor Zhang Hui interjected. Let me add. In fact, many substances can pass through safe zones in molecular form. Warnings include water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and so on. And the flow of time on the Pangu Continent. That's 100 times the size inside the safe zone. Only a referendum. Removal of safe zones. Only then will the light screen disappear. Mayor Li Chunhong understood. Nod gently. What risks does the Pangu Continent have? Could you all share your thoughts? Gradually, many branches of civilization join the discussion. 100-fold flow of time. This leads to observing the outside world from a safe zone. It's like watching a fast-forwarded movie. We observed on the Pangu Continent. There are many common plants and animals. However, a small number of extraordinary species have also been observed. We captured a cloud that blotted out the sky. Like a black eye watching the safe zone. I would like to ask, has any city been equipped with nuclear weapons? This question. No one answered. Did we bring them? Li Chunhong said in a low voice. An officer replied. No, we only have some conventional weapons. If you control uranium mines from the Pangu Continent, can be made. With Yinhai City's current industrial capacity, it is not up to par. Friends, if a city really does get involved in a referendum, safe zones have been removed. Please share some information. We also want to know, will the wandering monsters attack? Then, a spherical meteorite inside the research institute. When the screens suddenly lit up, a lot of information has appeared above. The Civilization Assistance Management device is being restarted. Currently, in the 9th era of the Pangu Continent, exploring civilization milestones that can be displayed. 1. End chaos and become a stable civilization. 2. The sound of electric currents in Pila Pala. 3. Withdraw the safe zone and advance toward the Pangu Continent. Unknown factors have an impact. Database corruption cannot be detected. Everyone looked at the 13 with regret. What is a civilization milestone? The first 8 years have they all been wiped out? Zhang Hui said. Unfortunately, I don't know either. On this panel, there are also some auxiliary features worth checking out. Currently investigating Yinhai City, the first branch of human civilization. 人口总量10891271人. Innate ability users, 846,300. Number of extraordinary fire seeds, 3. Abundance level, 132. Technology level, unknown. Percentage of votes in favor of removing the safe zone, 9.78%. Civilization level, level 1. All the leaders in the room felt their scalps tingle. Yinhai City has 9.78% of the people in Lizi. He had already quietly cast his vote. Nothing. We'll go first. Just as everyone was about to adjourn. Discover the 8th age civilization. The meta-civilization has issued a contact request for human civilization. Civilization of the 8th age. Professor Zhang's face showed shock at Fanran. Alien. An alien civilization has contacted us. Even stranger things happened. A human male face appears on the screen. The man muttered to himself. This thing, what is it? Civilization Assistant Manager. Can we contact humans? Feed and contact humans. Contact me quickly. The man seemed to be in a dark air raid shelter. Why isn't the screen lit up? It stinks so much. Forcing the fire lizard. He just pooped at home. What hygiene habits? Professor Zhang Hui's eyes nearly popped out. This guy, who is it? A citizen of the Maida civilization. They also speak our language. Li Chunhong felt his blood pressure soar. Is Professor Zhang playing a prank? Did they blacken this thing? Professor Zhang Hui was drenched in sweat. I'll confirm. But this is an alien product. Can anyone really mess with this stuff? The man on the screen was still talking to himself. The screen isn't lit? I thought it was some kind of precious treasure. I didn't expect it to be garbage. Here's what you'll see. Time? it's still a bit useful. At least you don't have to keep track of time every day. Not long after, the man dug up a piece of fiery red crystal from underground. The fire lizard is so powerful. Sure enough, there's treasure left. This time it's really a breakthrough. With this thing, it will help me cultivate my extraordinary fire seed even faster. Li Chunhong took a blood pressure pill. Don't spread word yet. Keep it strictly confidential. Can Professor Zhang try to communicate with him? I'm trying. Hey, Mr. Meda Civilization. Can you hear me talking? Zhang Hui called out for a long time. Think of a possibility. Could it be that the screen there is broken? Always talking to himself. At this time, the man on the screen pushed the large iron ball and pouted. It really seems to only have a sending function. No reception function. Anyway, it's solar. Try again after it's fully charged. With a click, the screen was shut off. Don't close it. We also need to look. Zhang Hui shouted out emotionally without realizing it, leaving everyone looking radiant. A cave somewhere on the Pangu Continent. You stood at the entrance of the cave, frowning. This place. It doesn't look natural. You raise your hand and sweep the trailblazer's eye over. The next second, golden light rose. Suspected to be a Meda civilized air defense facility. Later, it was occupied by a supernatural creature. You were stunned for a moment. Then his eyes lit up. Air raid shelter. A relic of civilization. Then what were we waiting for to start picking up? You rush in, dragging your tired body. A scrap metal door lay across the floor. You just move it up. The lines are not moving. Wow, it's hard enough and heavy enough. You tap the door. Keep track of the accounts first, and when I have time, I'll come back to get them. Further inside, over 100 bundles of stinky fabric were piled in the corner. You pinch your nose. It does smell a bit, but after washing, it can still be made into clothes. Mosquito nets are not impossible. Moving forward again, you suddenly stopped in your tracks. Golden light exploded. The ground was covered in metal, gold and silver. A mess of ore, especially bricks, piled up one by one like a small mountain. You bent down and moved a piece. About 10 kilograms. Staring at the gold bricks scattered all over the ground. The corners of your mouth twitched. Several dozen tons. At Earth prices, over 10 billion. You were silent for 2 seconds, then sneered. As long as it was of any use. It's not so useless that it doesn't work at all. You can't buy medicine here. You can't buy grain. You can't buy your life either. But it really feels great. You kicked the gold brick with your foot. No need to leave it aside in advance. Once I build civilization in the future, you'll be the national treasury. Trailblazers, I continues to scan. Dong sure can extract fluorine. You raise an eyebrow. Can you make toothpaste? When heated, apatite releases energy and emits light. I don't understand this thing. Whoever loves to pick them up can do so. Continue deeper inside. Soon, a large iron ball appeared before your eyes. The iron sphere's surface is embedded with rings of crystal screens. At first glance, it is not ordinary. You reach out and hold it down. A notification popped up in the Trailblazer's eye. Suspected Advanced Civilization Auxiliary Management Device. Can detect civilized human resource data. It also features remote contact capabilities. Because he's been played with by the fire lizard for a long time. Some functions are damaged. Your eyes suddenly widened. Remote contact. Able to connect with humans. You immediately rush over and start feeling the buttons. The indicator light flashed twice. The sizzling sound came from the loudspeaker. You suppress your excitement and shout at the big iron ball. Feeding human civilization. Can you hear me? I am Chen Fan. Contact the humans quickly. You thought for a moment and quickly enter the number. 7812 HSKKJ. Yes, it should be this one. 1 second, 10 seconds, 1 minute. The screen didn't light up for a long time. The excitement on your face gradually faded. Sit down. Indeed, without expectations, there is no disappointment. After a moment, you stand up again. No, that's not right. I can't reach him now. That doesn't mean you won't be able to contact them in the future. This iron ball belongs to me first. The next moment, you follow the golden light of the explorer's eye. Go to the deepest part of the cave. The golden light is the thickest here. You grab the celery head. Dig according to the ground. 1, 2, 3. Bang. A piece of fiery red crystal rolled out, palm-sized like a solidified fire. You reach out and grab it. A prompt popped up instantly. Fiery red spirit crystal. Can absorb, purify, and slowly release spirits. Can cultivate extraordinary fire seeds to accelerate cultivation. Quality, B+. You stared at the crystal, the corners of your mouth curling up in a smile. I said, Jingguang must have a big deal with such a powerful force. You hold the crystal up before your eyes. I have just ignited the extraordinary flame. Just send cultivation resources. Pangu Continent, you're a bit sensible. Keep the fiery red spirit crystal safe. He scanned the area again. The golden light was gone. It means the treasure has been thoroughly dug up. You turn and walk toward the cave entrance. In the distance, the remains of a fire lizard lay across the ground. Massive char black, still showing a bit of lingering warmth. Trailblazers, I pops up with information. Extraordinary life. The fire lizard is dead. Due to the influence of neurotoxins, the body is rotting. Expected in a day. Most of the flesh and blood lose their value. Your face darkened. Time is running out. It has to be dealt with immediately. He grabbed Chen Fan and rushed over. All the scales, skin, and flesh must be taken away. Old Wolf lay beside him. Even with broken ribs, you still force yourself to look at you. Get a look. Don't look at the old buddy. You're a hero, you won't die. Old Wolf let out a low growl. You keep digging for materials. Soon, he dug up a pile of stone-like things. Fuel crystallization. Age condensation from fire lizard fuel. The ignition temperature can reach 3 dry degrees Celsius. Peanut-sized pieces can burn all day. Your eyes lit up. This one works. Versatile for making fire, refining metals, and crafting weapons. You put over 300 crystals of fuel crystals into plastic barrels. Subsequently, he also found 2 strips of plant gluten. For hamstrings. Go back to make bows and cannons. Let's see who dares to storm my camp from now on. Then, you cut open the back. The meat is clean, not contaminated by poison. A large chunk of tenderloin was exposed. You swallowed hard. This is the real main dish. You cut off a big piece and throw it to Lao Lang first. The first film is for you. I deserve credit for winning this time. Old Wolf's eyes instantly welled up. It opened its mouth and devoured the meat ravenously. You point at it and laugh. This king's foremost meritorious minister, winning 99%. You're the second biggest contributor. Take 1%. Don't think it's too little. Rules are rules. Old Wolf didn't understand, but the tail wagged. The she-wolves also surrounded him, looking at you with longing eyes. You cut some more meat. Both have it. Not a single one is missing. The she-wolves ate until their bellies were round and round. You also cut 2 slices of sashimi yourself and swallow them whole. The taste is average, even a bit fishy. But the next second, a warm current exploded from his stomach. You suddenly shuddered. Much better than spider meat. At least double. You clench your fists. Flesh of extraordinary life. Sure enough, it's hard currency. After eating, they continued working. He didn't stop all day. His celery head was dull. His palm was scraped. My shoulders were so sore, they felt like they might break. But you don't dare to stop. Because the body would rot. Because the beast will come. This was a trophy he had earned with his life. Until the final ranking. The storage space is fully packed. Only then will you return home, feeling satisfied. Although it is very tiring. But he couldn't hold back the corners of his mouth. We won. We survived. The she-wolves raised their heads and barked. You chirp along with it. The sound exploded through the mountains and fields. Finally back at the camp. The metal door opened. Old Wolf collapsed in the haystack in a corner. It kept wagging its tail. You breathe a sigh of relief. Okay, you still know how to wag your tail and not die. The next second, he collapsed to the ground. You lay motionless on the ground. The adrenaline is completely drained. He had exhausted all his strength. A few minutes later, you grit your teeth and get up. No way. His body was covered in the golden liquid of the fire lizard. You can't sleep like this. You drag yourself outside to shower. A cold rinse of water. You shudder. After washing, my forehead started to feel hot. Your expression changed. No way. At this time I get sick. You fed the mother wolf some lizard meat. Pointing outside the door, he said, "Vigil tonight. If there's any noise, just call out." The she-wolves wagged their tails. You whispered. Fortunately, there are you. Although he can't speak and isn't very smart. But in critical moments, they really can be relied upon. You close the metal door. Take a small red pill. He collapsed onto the grass bed. Sleep once you sleep. You close your eyes and immediately lose the frame. This feeling, sleeping soundly, like from Pangu's creation to the end of the world. When you wake up, the sun is already high in the sky. My first reaction was to see Lao Lang. The old wolf is still alive. Breathing steady, you breathe a sigh of relief. All right, you're fine. Subsequently, you touch your forehead. Yaozi was sore, his whole body aching. Identify yourself immediately. Disease status. Early stage of influenza. You were stunned at first. Then he patted his chest. Fortunately, it was just the flu. The next second, you suddenly sit up. Wait a minute. There is no hospital in this place. No doctor. No fever reducers. Your face darkened. Put it in this godforsaken place. If you don't handle it well, it could be fatal. The attribute panel popped up. Form, energy, and spirit. Transcendent level, 1. Ability, alternate space, pioneer's eye, explorer eye. Storage space, extraordinary fire seeds, eternal body drive. Appraise. I don't know why. This boring human possesses 6 abilities. But no matter what, he was still just a rookie. You sneered, still quite stubborn. If you have more ability, just convince them or not. But now is not the time for bickering. You dig out a small red pill. He swallowed another one. It should be the best for boosting immunity. But not enough. You close your eyes. A small red flame flickered deep in his mind. Extraordinary spark. Warmth is faint. You mobilize it immediately. He sent the power of the fire seed through his respiratory tract. Burning viruses to nourish cells saves one's cell. Time passed little by little. An hour. You suddenly opened your eyes, sweating profusely all over. But most of the headache had subsided. Her breathing was smooth. You sat on the bed laughing. Cow is really a cow. In less than half a day, the flu was suppressed. You clench your fists. No wonder only civilizations ignite extraordinary flames. Only then did he dare to explore the Pangu Continent. There was no such thing. A single illness can knock someone down. Followed by, you set your sights on new abilities. Eternal drive, driven by the body. Raise your hand. He looked at his palm, then at his arm. Passive ability. You can't use it proactively. All right, then you'd better be useful. Trailblazers, I provides an explanation. Significantly extends lifespan. Gain the ability to regenerate limbs. Stats always remain at their peak. They will not age before their lifespan ends. You were completely stunned. It does not age. Always at full condition. What is the most pitiful thing about humanity? Practice slowly, retreat quickly. If you don't practice in a day, your hands and feet will slow down. If you don't train for 2 days, your form will decline. But you're different. As long as you train to the top, you can maintain it long term. You clench your fists, your eyes shining with a frightening light. In other words, as long as I'm tough enough, I'll eventually become Superman. You stand up and stretch your shoulders. His body was still a bit weak, but you can feel it, gradually returning to the peak. He touched his own face again. So maybe his looks are locked in too. I'm 24 now, still pretty handsome. You looked at the metal piece. Not bad, even if you live to be 1,000 years old, nor will it turn into bark. You curled your lips. That ability is tough. But the next second, you think of another harsh reality. This is the Pangu Continent. Just me. No girls. No city. There wasn't even a single person who could have a normal conversation. You look at the old wolf by the bedside. Old wolf looks up at you. You are silent. Old wolf also fell silent. You sigh. Forget it. Telling you this won't help. The old wolf coughed. Stop coughing. You don't understand the pain of an adult man. You scold me a bit. He threw all that resentment into thin air. After a moment, you pull your attention back again. The brain is also part of the body. Will learning also be forgotten more slowly? Don't be so careful. If that's really the case, then this ability is more than just for survival. It also keeps me strong. You patted your chest. Interstellar Alliance. This time, they gave a pretty good deal. But then again, why do you always give support abilities? None of the attack abilities are given. You pointed at the ceiling and sounded very defiant. I snatched the extraordinary fire seed myself. It's none of your business. Old wolf looked at you again. You wave your hand. Don't be fooled by the fact that I'm reasoning with the person above, although it is highly unlikely to listen. The next few days, you lie down except to eat, drink water, and use the toilet, because you won the battle against the fire lizard very satisfactorily. But it also comes at a great cost. His physical strength was drained. His vital energy and blood were completely drained. Her body felt as if it had been squeezed out all over. Woke up. Eat a couple bites of fire lizard meat. Then use extraordinary fire seeds to nourish the body. Then continue sleeping. The she-wolf stood guard outside. Old wolf lay inside the house recovering from his injuries. You go see it every day. Put the meat to its mouth. Eat. After you survive, you'll still be my top warrior under the demon realm. Old wolf ate the meat. You look at it and nod. Not bad, so motivated. He hasn't been completely idle these past few days. You're flipping through materials left behind by the meta-civilization. Focus on cultivation. Too much world building is pointless. Now, focusing only on the key points. How to get stronger. How to survive. Until the 7th day. You finally can't lie down. He threw off the straw mat and sat up. Today, I officially begin my practice. Everyone is listening to me about to evolve. You sit cross-legged. Focus. Soon, the flame flickers gently. It was as if he was responding to you. The meta-civilization's information is very clear. The core function of the extraordinary fire seed is just one. Enhance 3 attributes. Form, energy, and spirit. Once the fire seed grows stronger, it can also release mental energy to evolve various attack techniques. So, the meta-civilization calls it the primary capability of civilization. Not because it is the strongest. It's because it can be passed down. It can make the entire civilization stronger together. You've seen this far. All I could do is shrug. Pity. I'm currently the only one in the 18th branch of humanity. Can it be widely disseminated? It has little to do with me. First, get stronger yourself. At this moment, you're in a good mood. Although thrown to the Pangu Continent and started alone, but it didn't ruin me completely. Landing near the ruins of civilization. There is trash to pick up. There are wolves to use. There are fire lizards to kill. There are also milestone rewards. After saying that, you took out that fiery red spirit crystal. As soon as the spirit crystal appeared, the spark in his mind flickered instantly. Your eyes narrowed. Here it comes. The energy inside the spirit crystal was like an invisible air current. Dive into your body and rush into your mind. You almost burst out laughing. Isn't this the energy crystallization left behind by the Meda civilization? The cultivation methods of the wealthy. Truly plain and unpretentious. There were no fiery red spirit crystals. Normally, cultivation can only be enduring slowly. The Meta civilization has also developed many techniques. Interstellar energy resonance method. Interstellar energy guidance method. It all sounds pretty professional. But now I don't even need to calculate slowly. The fiery red spirit crystal slapped the answer right in your face. Skill. Of course it works. But resources are even more ruthless. 2 hours later, you suddenly feel full. It's not that I'm full. It's the spark that is well spent. You stop immediately. Cultivation should not be greedy, but digestion must be digested. You open your eyes to check the properties. His eyes lit up instantly. All attributes add 0.1. The fiery red spirit crystal still had plenty of energy. Far from using it up. Your lips curl up wildly. It's not about getting stronger with words. Panels are really rising. Get up and stretch your arms. The changes are not particularly obvious, but you can feel it. Your body is steadier, your breathing smoother, and your mind clearer. You look at Lao Lang. Do you see it? I'm strong again. Old Wolf wagged his tail. You nod. Great, you think I'm awesome too. The sun is slanting westward. You're on the ground marking dates with a wooden stick. 1 stroke, 2 strokes. The ground was covered with the characters for Zhang. What day is it today? 105. Still 106. Time began to blur. This is no small thing. What a person fears most in the wilderness is not hardship. It is buried by time. Today, tomorrow, and the day after are all the same. Over time, people dispersed. No way. I need to have an exact time. You can't even forget how old you are. Thinking of this, you immediately recall that big iron ball. Civilized management devices. Although part of it was broken. But the timer is still usable. That's it. Heart is better than action. First, clear some storage space. You explain to Lao Lang. Keep watch over the house. Do not move around. I'll go get the big iron ball back. How dare you run around and come back to grab your meat? Old Wolf immediately lay down. Very good. You carry celery on your back and set off with your tools. You arrive at the Fire Lizard Canyon once again. The giant beast's corpse that had been lying on the ground. Only skeletons and flying flies remain. You stood there and glanced over. To live is king. Dead is meat. Pangu Continent. He really doesn't give her any face at all. You head straight for the cave. Find the big iron ball, stored in storage space. The movements are clean and efficient. Let's go. On the way back, you gather medical supplies along the way. Unfortunately, luck was average. There was not a single sign of medical supplies. Meda civilization. Oh, Meda civilization. How can you, a high-level civilization, not even leave me any medicine? But even with myrrh, you can't go back empty-handed. Picking up all the way. Mushroom herbs. There's also a plant that looks like a chili pepper. The trailblazers, I swept over it. The hairy ghost umbrella is most likely non-toxic. The mushroom texture is similar to chicken drumsticks. You nod. Chicken leg mushrooms are fine. Salvia root can be used medicinally to promote blood circulation and remove blood stasis. You dig up the roots immediately. Old Wolf is useful. Plants suspected to be chili peppers. Non-toxic spiciness about 4,000 Scoville. Your eyes lit up. Good stuff. Stir-fried lizard meat. There are seasonings now. Stuff everything in. Looking up toward the camp. I'll try the metal sphere when I get back. Whether they can contact humans depends on this match. Meanwhile, safe zone. The first branch of human civilization. Yanhai City Supernatural Research Center. The atmosphere was tense. The original 1-hour information exchange was forced to be extended. Then a researcher spoke. The first possibility. He really is human. For some reason. He left the safe zone alone. And then found the Meda civilization's civilization management device. So they tried to contact us. Another person immediately chimed in. Because the device is broken. So he had no idea he had already contacted us. The conference room fell silent again. Is this explanation reasonable? Plausible. But the problem is that it's just too outrageous. Leaving the safe zone alone. Survives on the Pangu Continent. The outside time and safety zone time ratio is 100-1. 1 day in the safe zone means 100 days outside. Even top-tier special forces soldiers. None of them can live comfortably, let alone the Pangu Continent. There are supernatural creatures there. There's an unknown virus. There are ruins and monsters. Someone whispered. The second possibility. Perhaps all external civilizations resemble humans. Language may be similar to Earth's language. We just happened to encounter a civilization from outside that spoke Chinese. The probability is too low but cannot be ruled out. Li Chunhong, the top official of Yunhai City, rubbed his temples. He had already witnessed too many absurd things that day. Supernatural technology. Civilized management devices. The outside world is suspected to be human. Each one is more outrageous than the last. He knocked on the table. Conclusion. Keep all possible contacts. Any effective information could potentially improve human survival rates. Everyone nodded. Representatives from other cities also expressed their views one after another. Agree. Share new intelligence if needed. The meeting ended quickly. On the surface, everyone remained polite. But secretly, the atmosphere had already changed. Information is a resource. Resources cannot be free forever. After the communication was disconnected, Professor Zhang Hui quickly walked into the small conference room, his expression grave. Face recognition for all the leaders. Li Chunhong looked up and said, Professor Zhang Hui placed the materials on the desk. Can be confirmed. The young man in the footage is a resident of Yunhai City. Name, Chen Fan. Everyone in the conference room changed their expressions at the same time. Our people. It really is from Yunhai City. He's alive. Professor Zhang Hui shook his head. Not known at this time. However, the identification results are highly consistent. A senior leader over 60 frowned, whether to disclose it to other branches of civilization. Another person immediately asked back, isn't this too conspicuous to make it public? A resident of Yunhai City appears outside and is suspected to be a liaison device for the Maida civilization. If the news gets out, how will other cities react? Li Chunhong's voice lowered. Even if they don't make it public, they will still guess. After all, they speak our language. The old leader looked at him. You mean proactively going public? Li Chunhong nodded. This is a card, and it's a big name. Now, 17 cities are cooperating on the surface. But information doesn't always come to pass. You have the technology, I don't, and you won't give it to me for free. The future will definitely become a transaction. And Chen Fan. It is our leverage to connect directly with the outside world. As long as he is alive. Yunhai City itself has a sense of mystery. When trading, others will think a bit further. The more you think, the more you give in. The old leader was silent for a moment and sighed softly. The prisoners fled in panic. Oh yes, Li Chunhong said, but we have no choice. The 4 words, human compatriots. But it wasn't enough to make 17 cities hold nothing back. We can trust others, but I can't give up my life. After a while, Li Chunhong suddenly asked, what about Chen Fan's family? Did you find it? The liaison officer answered immediately. I found it. His father, Lu Qianghua, is a psychiatrist at Yunhai 3rd Hospital. His mother was also a doctor at the 3rd Hospital. Younger sister Chen Xiaoyu is a senior student at Yunhai Experimental Middle School. Grandpa and grandma, maternal grandparents. It should have stayed on Earth and not been teleported over. Li Chunhong nodded and picked up his phone. I'll give him a call. The phone is connected. A middle-aged man's voice came from across the way. Hello, who is the psychiatric department at the 3rd Hospital? Li Chunhong's tone slowed. This is the Yunhai City Government Office. May I ask Dr. Lu Qianghua, is Chen Fan your son? The other side clearly tightened their breath. Why didn't he come home today? You found him. Or is it that he stayed on Earth? Li Chunhong did not answer directly. We're sending you a photo. Please confirm whether the person in the photo is Chen Fan. A few seconds later, MMS message was sent. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a long time. Then his breathing became rapid. It should be him. He had lost a lot of weight. Where is he? Is he injured? Li Chunhong said in a deep voice. Dr. Lu, hold on. We have another problem. Did Chen Fan awaken his superpowers? Superpowers. Lu Qianghua was clearly stunned, not knowing what to do. He never told me. A few people in the meeting room exchanged glances. It's normal not to know. Superpowers are such things. If I don't speak up or proactively use it, it's hard for outsiders to notice. Then they called Chen Fan's mother. The answer is the same. Finally, he called Chen Fan's sister. Chen Xiaoyu's voice was young and nervous. Hey. Hello, we are staff members of the Yunhai City government. Are you Chen Xiaoyu? I am. I want to ask, has your brother Chen Fan ever mentioned superpowers to you? There was 2 seconds of silence on the other end of the line. Then the girl whispered. He said. Li Chunhong's eyes narrowed. What ability? He said. It seems to be called another dimension. He only awakened in the past few days. There was no time to report it. The girl's voice trembled. Sir, where did my brother go? Is something wrong with him? Li Chunhong held his phone in silence for a moment. How to explain? Your brother didn't stay on Earth. Your brother isn't in the safe zone either. Your brother seems to have gone to the Maida civilization ruins. Who would believe this if he said that? Li Chunhong finally said so. Chen Xiaoyu, please calm down first. We will assign a dedicated person to contact your family. We will explain Chen Fan's situation in person. After hanging up, the conference room exploded. The young experts couldn't contain their excitement. Alternate space. This ability is extremely rare. According to his sister, Chen Fan could create a private little space to hide himself. The outside world cannot see or touch it. Isn't this spatial capability? Someone immediately added. According to Earth's public records, there are only 2 spatial ability users. A short-range teleportation. One passes through walls. Chen Fan's alternate space sounded even more advanced than those 2. Li Chunhong stared at the documents, his brows furrowing tighter and deeper. So how'd he get out? A researcher patted his forehead. I have a guess. Say, at that time, Chen Fan might have been using an alternate space. The civilization screening program was launched, and Earth disappeared. But Chen Fan was not in the normal space. So he was left out. The conference room fell silent. Professor Zhang Hui's eyes lit up. Immediately grab a pen and draw circles on the table. The Earth is a vast space. Chen Fan's alternate space was another small space. The safe zone screens life within normal spaces. But he hid in a small space, so he bypassed the mechanics. Li Chunhong's face twitched. The Interstellar Alliance makes this mistake. Zhang Hui shook his head. This may not be wrong. If it is a ruled, procedural entity, then this is called a mechanism loophole. It wasn't that it hadn't noticed Chen Fan. Chen Fan was not within its scanning range. Everyone was silent for 2 seconds. Then, someone whispered, then he's really unlucky. Just awakened superpowers wanting to play a bit. While playing, the Earth disappeared. The tense atmosphere in the conference room instantly eased. Li Chunhong also chuckled. Unlucky. At the time, I was hosting the opening ceremony of the cultural festival. The microphone hasn't even been put down, and the whole city is flying up. The military major responded. My side is even scarier. The troops are training to throw grenades. The grenade had just been thrown out, and the city was launched. One new recruit's face turned pale, thinking he had blown up the Earth. The laughter in the conference room grew louder. Professor Zhang Hui cleared his throat. Let's bring the topic back to the topic. Everybody. Chen Fan's current situation was very dangerous. 10 million of us hide in the safe zone, not daring to leave. He fell alone into the Pangu Continent. The outside world has 100 times the time we have. We have to find a way to help him. Li Chunhong knocked on the table. First, Chen Fan's identity can be made public. He clearly told other cities that he was from Yinhai City. Don't let others claim it fraudulently, and don't let them guess randomly. Someone nodded. Going public is actually beneficial. Hiding it is pointless. Li Chunhong continued. Second, focus on research on contact methods. His machine seemed broken. He can send out the footage, but we haven't received any news from us. We have to find a way to let him know. Someone immediately asked, are there any superpowered users for remote communication? Telepathy. It usually appears between twins. Chen Fan has a younger sister, but not twins, and she currently lacks the ability. What about other cities? I don't know for the time being. Everyone was talking at once. It all comes down to one point. I can't help. Yinhai City couldn't send a single message. All I can do is worry anxiously through the screen. Several older leaders couldn't hold on anymore. He hadn't slept for a whole day and night, his eyes bloodshot. Li Chunhong stood up. Everyone, please rest first. He continued to monitor Chen Fan's affairs. But Yinhai City also needs to resume production. 10 million people need to eat, have water supplied, and maintain order. He looked at Zhang Hui. Professor Zhang, please continue your shift. I'm counting on you to keep an eye on international exchanges as well. Zhang Hui nodded in relief. There are so many young people here that they are so excited they can't sleep. Li Chunhong smiled. The new world still depends on you. The leaders had just left. Zhang Hui on too. Want to lie on the table for a few minutes? But my mind was too excited to sleep. There are too many supernatural phenomena. The task is too heavy. The first major issue was food. Yinhai City's 12,000 square kilometers sounds like a big deal, but 10 million people are no joke about eating, drinking, and using the bathroom. Farmland is insufficient. Grain reserves are limited. If high-yield crops cannot be found, people will starve in the future. Zhang Hui pressed his temples and said to his subordinate, we still have a year's worth of grain stored. Not bad. Other cities may not have as many as this. No sooner had he finished speaking than the phone rang. Zhang Hui picked up what was going on. The voice on the other end of the phone was trembling with anxiety. Professor Zhang. The communicator's screen lit up again. Chen Fan. Chen Fan initiated a request for communication. Zhang Hui suddenly stood up. Hurry to the liaison room. Pangu Continent. The abandoned data center of the Maida civilization. You are eating meat. Slice the fire lizard meat thinly and pan-fry it on a griddle. Fat sizzled out. Sprinkle salt, add mushrooms, and toss in a few freshly picked green chili peppers. The aroma immediately surged up. You pick up a piece of meat and put it in your mouth. The outside is charred and tender on the inside. The whole person was comfortable. Feeling good is what a meal really means. The big iron ball next to him had been basking in the sun for ages. You eat while pressing the button. Old buddy, the battery should be charged enough, right? Don't pretend to be dead. Contact me with human civilization. You enter the number. Once, twice, 3 times. Actually, I'm not confident. But her hands still couldn't stop. What if we could get in touch? Give me a chance. As long as they can be contacted. I can move the entire human civilization. You patted the iron ball. Show it to me. The screen didn't move. You grit your teeth. Human civilization. Can you hear me? I am Chen Fan. Alive. Contact is required. You stuffed another bite of meat. By the way, the fire lizard meat was quite fragrant. Liaison Office of Yinhai City, Safety Zone. This scene. It was directly invested in the civilized management devices of major cities. Researchers watch you eat meat. His eyes nearly popped out. A young PhD spoke in a cloudy voice. What he eats? Is it that big lizard? The female PhD beside her turned pale. The flesh and blood of extraordinary beings. He cooked it directly. This should be used for research. Conducting organ regeneration experiments. Cultivating super antibiotics. It can even cultivate seeds of mutant plants. The female doctor paused, her voice trembling. That one might amount to 10 million in research funding. Another researcher reminded. Now money no longer makes sense. The female doctor glanced at him. That is, research resources worth tens of millions. This is not a violent object. This is putting the hearts of researchers on a hot plate. Just at this time. You sighed again at the black screen. Eating these things all the time gets boring. I really want to eat white rice. The liaison room was deathly silent. A few seconds later, someone whispered, I don't sympathize with him much anymore. Is he showing off? The female doctor clutched her chest. Top tier Versailles. I do experiments and stingily search. He was tired of eating extraordinary meat. Is this reasonable? Zhang Hui looked at the screen, his mouth twitching. Don't feel sorry for me. At least prove one thing. He has food, and it's high-quality food. As soon as these words came out, everyone finally recovered a little. Oh yes, alive. You can also eat meat. And you can complain about wanting to eat rice. That's the good news. At this moment, another contact device rang. The 6th branch of human civilization has sent a communication request. Zhang Hui immediately chimed in. The screen lit up. Professor Edward appeared. Get straight to the point. Is Professor Zhang from Yinhai City? Did he somehow enter the Pangu Continent? This method, it is important for all humanity. Zhang Hui paused for half a second and smiled. I can only answer one question. This young man who accidentally entered the Pangu Continent. He really is from our Yinhai City. The rest are confidential. Professor Edward is drawing attention. Do you have any way to contact him? Zhang Hui retorted. Does your city have remote telepathic communication skills? Edward immediately understood. You can't get in touch either. He smiled. Unfortunately, we don't have one yet. But we can exchange chips. Zhang Hui, sit up straight and say it. Edward said. Chen Fan's contact device was probably just a broken screen and speaker. The core is still working. Otherwise, the footage won't be transmitted back. So we can bypass screens and sounds. Contact him with other features. Zhang Hui's eyes narrowed. Like what? Vibration channel. Edward raised his hand to signal his assistant to operate. The next second, the large iron ball in the Yinhai City liaison room suddenly vibrated. It even sounded a brief alarm. Everyone immediately turned to look at the iron ball. Zhang Hui's eyes lit up. And this feature. Edward nodded. Backup channel. The screen is broken. The speakers are broken. But hardware vibration might still work. We are willing to share the method with you. This time, you will send the tremor to Chen Fan. Zhang Hui fell silent. Edward continued. His time is 100 times that of ours. Hesitate a few more minutes. It might have been a long time since his end. Professor Zhang first let him know that humans heard it. This sentence hits the nail on the head. Zhang Hui didn't delay any longer. Good. Let's remember this kindness. Edward smiled. We'll talk about trades in the future. Cooperation is more valuable than mutual suspicion. Zhang Hui nodded, at least for now. Pangu Continent. You're already a bit tired of sitting in front of the iron ball. The screen is still black. No response, no sound. You lift your foot and kick it. I knew it. The greater the expectations, the greater the disappointment. You can't hold back your anger. He cursed at the iron ball several times. Human civilization. Did you hear it or not? Give me some reaction. The wolf pack heard you shouting and ran over. One by one, they swung their heads and tails around you. A few big tails are thrown at you, pumping back and forth like a little broom. You twitch your brow from being slapped. I call humans, not you. At that moment, the wolf cub squeezed over. Yes. The week you were recovering, the she-wolves gave birth, one nest after another. Suddenly, more than a dozen little creatures appeared in the camp. Short legs, small round belly. He even wobbled when walking. A wolf cub pounced at your feet. She called out in a childish voice. Round eyes. Directly attack your will. Your face stiffened. No, I can't feed you your wolves. Be independent. The wolf cub hugged your ankle and kept barking. You hold out for 3 seconds. Then he took out a small dried fish. The little wolf cub swallowed it in one gulp and wagged its tail rapidly. You slapped your head hard. Why'd I feed again? You pointed old wolf. It's all your fault. The old wolf's leg still hasn't healed. He walked with a limp and lumps. He coughed in grievance, as if to say, the fact that wolf packs are matriarchal has little to do with me. You gently kicked it. Less clothing. From now on, you will take them hunting. If you want to eat meat, get it yourself. Don't come here every day to mooch meals. I can't indulge you. 3 seconds later, you grab another handful of dried fish and threw it out. You freeze completely. Why'd I feed again? Why is my willpower so weak? It was at this moment. The large sphere suddenly vibrated twice. You turned around suddenly. Moved. You rushed over, your pupils contracting. Press your hand directly onto the metal casing. Mankind. Could it really be that they could get in touch? The next second, the surprise on your face froze. The screen didn't light up. Only the cold, large iron ball was heating up, followed by a long alarm beeped and exploded. Your heart skipped a beat, and you immediately took half a step back. No way. Don't tell me I'm going to blow up. You stare at it and hesitate for 2 seconds. Then he decisively shut down the phone. Fortune is important. Don't blow up my lair. Meanwhile, the Institute of the Supernatural. The screen instantly turned blue. The other party had already lost contact. Whether to reinitiate the communication request. The conference room exploded. He closed it. He turned off the video. Quickly get back in touch. Please contact Meda Civilization later. No response for a long time. Professor Zhang Hui slapped him across the forehead. Broken. We had good intentions, but ended up with bad luck. Someone said anxiously. Wasn't he supposed to tell him that he had already contacted humans? Zhang Hui took a deep breath. The problem is, he most likely doesn't understand Morse code. Moreover, the flow of time between the two sides is different. 1 second on our side, 100 seconds over there. The vibration cannot be transmitted continuously. After waiting a long time, I only received a single vibration and an alarm. If it were you, would you turn it off or not? Everyone was silent. Zhang Hui rubbed his forehead. Good news. Alert vibration channel is available. Bad news. There was too little information, and Chen Fan misunderstood. Zhang Hui immediately called information science expert Shang Xingwen. The phone is connected. After hearing this, Professor Zhang was immediately moved by regret. Professor Zhang, your request is a bit outrageous. The buzzer can only make beeping sounds, which is determined by physical structure. Zhang Hui spoke quickly, not demanding. At least let him know he had contacted humans. And tell him not to turn off his phone. Professor Zhang was silent for 2 seconds. It's even simpler than Morse code. It's tough, but I'll find someone to try. Soon, a group of experts gathered around the metal sphere to start fighting. It can emit square waves and triangle waves. Try combining them to see if you can come up with more complex syllables. Hurry up. The safe zone lasts for several days on his side. If we delay any longer, he might be finished. At this moment, a voice echoed in everyone's minds at once. The item attribute system has been generated. Extraordinary items. Poor quality, average, exquisite, excellent, legendary, epic, immortal, and mythic, 8 tiers. After acquiring skills related to identification, can identify the level and effects of extraordinary items. Zhang Hui's expression changed. Why does Interstellar Alliance have to update its equipment system at this time? Outside the refuge on the Pangu Continent, you sit on a stone to cultivate. The extraordinary fire seed slowly flickered. Suddenly, a cold voice rang out. The item attribute system has been generated. Extraordinary item levels are now available. You open your eyes. Equipment system. The wolves nearby didn't react. The wolf cubs were still biting at each other. It seems only intelligent beings can hear it. You don't think much about it. He immediately took out 3 extraordinary items he had for appraisal. The back pattern of the juvenile hell spider, can cause mental shock. It is excellent. Fiery red crystal elite grade. Fire lizard leather is average grade. As for fuel crystallization, it does not meet the grade standards. You raise an eyebrow, saying the standards aren't low. Subsequently, his gaze toward the fire lizard skin changed. Man-made extraordinary items. Most likely this is a new milestone. You stand up instantly, and your motivation is very direct. Grab rewards. Ahead of all civilizations. Their materials. There is 100-fold time difference. Knowing that milestones come with rewards. That's the advantage. Do it now. You walk into the shelter. He then reopened the large sphere. The indicator light turned on. This time, there was no vibration or alarm. You breathe a sigh of relief. Just don't blow it up. Whether human civilization can hear or not doesn't matter. I will only demonstrate it once. A legendary milestone. You haven't been skinned, but you know leather can't just be left and used. If you keep it going, it'll be ruined. Step 1. Decontamination and degreasing. You dig out a bucket of spoiled powder from the ruins. Suspected to be laundry detergent. Residual sodium carbonate and sodium silicate have certain stain-removing effects. Poor conditions are just for use. He threw the fire lizard skin in and soaked it for 2 whole days. Then scrape the fat with a small knife. Stretch and dry in the sun. A notification popped up in the trailblazer's eye. Fire lizard leather is average grade. Your eyelid twitched. Minus sign. This is about downgrading. Grit your teeth and keep working. This is no joke. These are your future clothes, pants, and shoes. It's the equipment you need to survive on the Pangu Continent. After drying, the prompt changed again. Extraordinary bio-leather with initial stain removal. The maker is like a granddad who can't even bear to use a better detergent. General level. Your face is dark. 2-. Don't go too far. Pioneers, I continue to prompt. Requires a dose of alum. It enhances elasticity, durability, waterproofing, and wrinkle resistance. You pat your head. Alum. There seems to be a chemical plant ruin. You shouted. Old wolf left. Go pick up the trash. Inside the safe zone. Chen Fan reconnected. The Institute was greatly encouraged. But this time, no one dared to shake it recklessly. And other new signal solutions. If you scare him off again, it'll be a big problem. You worked on the Pangu Continent for several days. The safe zone lasted just over an hour. There are too many images coming through. The Research Institute immediately added personnel. Graduate and doctoral students. Psychologist and material expert. All were presented. Someone looked at the screen and whispered. He deliberately pointed the camera at the work area. Not sure if we can see it, but he still wanted to share. The psychologist noted. Sharing updates is a way to combat loneliness. Another person stares at the leather you are moving. His physical condition was off. Ordinary people doing so much work would be exhausted. Could it be that he has more than one ability? First, record it. At that moment, someone pointed to the corner of the screen. Wait a minute. It was the ruins of the city. In the screen, collapsed houses and rusted steel bars flashed by. The conference room fell silent. Meda civilization. It really is extinguished. No one answered, because everyone thinks of the same question. The first 8 eras. What about civilizations? In the end, only silence remained. After a moment, the materials expert spoke. His method of making it was quite rough. But being able to do this alone was already quite impressive. You should want to survive long-term. The words just fell. On the screen, you returned to the shelter carrying a big bucket of stuff. His face was full of the joy of harvest. Lift the plastic bucket. Alum is coming. Pour the alum into the water. He added some industrial salt. Start stirring the big bucket. The leather was unbearably heavy. Each piece weighs over 100 gene. You stir things up while finding joy in hardship. At 4:15 a.m. in the 9th era of the Pangu Continent, old Chen, sleeping in a rundown house, was woken up by wolves eating and drinking. The wolf howled loudly. In plain terms, it means going to work one by one. You laugh to yourself after saying that. Although it is tiring, but you have the extraordinary spark and the eternal body drive. As long as the vital energy isn't damaged, it can recover the next day. 3 attributes also increased rapidly. Eating fire lizard meat was not for free. I am now. You should be considered one of the strongest humans in the world. You keep working. Peel and dry in the sun. Another 2 days. Finally, the fire lizard skin changed from fiery red to brownish red, and the fishy smell had faded by more than half. You identify immediately. Extraordinary bio-leather made using local methods. Due to the roughness of the entire foot process, the quality has declined. Inferior grade. Hidden abilities. High temperature resistance is not activated. The smile on your face vanished on the spot. Inferior. You rush over to check. The stack of leather is all of poor quality. After struggling for so long, the quality collapsed. On Earth, assembly lines aren't worth much. Handmade goods are truly luxurious. What does Interstellar Alliance even know? Scolding and scolding. Leather can't be saved. You can only comfort yourself. Even low-quality products can be leveled up. As long as it's made into equipment, it will still trigger milestones. The handmade immortal is me. Next, prepare the needle and thread. The needle is the spider's legs of the hell spider. The thread is the vine bark that falls from the man-eating flower. You nod in satisfaction. Materials are maxed out. You don't know how to sew, but if you keep wearing 2 pieces of skin, it will eventually work. The first is for making a sleeping bag. Never having a blanket has left me feeling insecure. You picked the softest skin on the lizard's belly. The feel is like a carpet. After thinking it over, you made it into a double version. Bigger is always the right choice. Old Wolf leaned in and rolled onto the sleeping bag. You lift your foot and kick. Get lost, this is my bedding. The wolf cubs charged over as well. A dozen fur balls occupy the sleeping bag, tearing at each other, whispering sweetly. You can't bear to punch Rue Xixiang in the face. Okay, let me first let you experience the luxurious king-size bed. 3 hours later, the sleeping bag is finished. You identify immediately. The fire lizard sleeping bag is sewn from inferior extraordinary bioleather. Excellent warmth and good comfort. However, the manufacturing process is crude and unbearable to look at. Treasure the natural objects. You stared at the last 4 words, your face stiffening. It can't be called an extraordinary item. What about the milestone? You immediately look up the meta-civilization materials. Soon you grasp the key. Fire lizard skin is heat-resistant. But after death, the fire lizard abilities are hidden. If not activated, it's just ordinary leather. The materials provide 3 methods. First, physical harmony. Microcurrents are used to simulate neural signals. You just shake your head. Where do I get microcurrent? Second, catalytic reconciliation. Activate each other using different attribute materials. You keep shaking your head. It took 300 years to begin studying Meta civilization. I've already lost interest in learning daylilies. Third, spiritual harmony. Relying on talent and intuition. A flash of inspiration from skilled craftsmen. After 10 minutes, you look at your crooked stitches and fall silent. Got it, I'm not a master craftsman. You turn to look at something else. The back pattern of a juvenile hell spider. It can cause mental shock and slowness. Excellence grade, natural treasure. The ability of this pattern is naturally activated. Your breath sinks. Using it for equipment should at least get you into the ranks. Excellent grade materials can be downgraded by 2 levels, but you didn't act immediately, because there is only one thing. The bet was lost. You can't get better materials in a short time. First, practice your skills. Make a bed for Old Wolf. The Old Wolf likes it, and the cubs like it too. Then I started making leather coats, leather jackets, and leather pants. One after another. You work during the day. Practice at night. When hungry, eat fire lizard meat. When tired, take a nap. Tailoring skills range from rusty to proficient. The faster you work, the faster you go. The more you work, the steadier you become. Meanwhile, the metal sphere was still glowing. You're so busy you forget to turn it off. Sewing leather on one side. At the same time, I thought of the college entrance exam on her. Then, you seem to work hard every day to stay up late and get up early. Actually, many times they're getting distracted. So my exam results are average. Went to an ordinary university and lived an ordinary life. Thinking about this makes you feel a bit sad. If heaven gave me another chance. You pause your needlework. What will happen to me? A thought popped into my mind and body at the same time. You've already been reborn, so why not start a relationship right away? Shouldn't you study hard and get into Tsinghua or Peking University? Your mind is flying wildly, but your hands haven't stopped. More than a month later, you made 5 leather jackets and 5 pairs of pants, 10 pairs of underwear, 20 pairs of socks, 3 pairs of boots. You move your fingers and can't help but laugh. Yes, I finally mastered my skills. Unfortunately, he hadn't activated any of his inner abilities. Not supernatural items. I have a Trailblazers gave his evaluation. A carefully sewn pair of leather shoes is highly durable. If it does not trigger supernatural effects, it cannot be classified as an artificial wonder. Luxury. You breathe a sigh of relief. There was nothing major to criticize. Let's start with the main course. You take out the back pattern of a juvenile hell demon spider. You picked out the thickest piece of fire lizard skin. You need to be a shield. The skin on the samurai's hips is the hardest, thickest, and toughest, making it perfect for a shield. Palm-sized spider patterns are embedded in the leather. It sounds simple, but it's all about the attention to detail. Finally, a round leather shield was completed, with a diameter of 70 centimeters. The left hand can hold it or be tied to the arm. At the very center was the spider's blood-red, eyeball-like pattern. You hold your shield in your left hand. With a branch in his right hand, he charged straight at the wolf pack. Let's try the results. The wolf cubs grew quickly, and in just over a month, they had already gained more than 10 gene. They glared at the shield first. The next second, he turned and ran, shouting while escaping. Only Old Wolf circles around you, looking utterly disdainful. It had long studied this thing, knowing it was a dead object. Old Wolf still has some skills. Subsequently, you suppress your excitement and use the Pioneer's eye to appraise it, a defensive weapon made from various materials for leather shields. The central eyeball pattern has the effect of calming the enemy's spirit. Due to rough processing methods, the material's integrity is not fully utilized. Artifacts are of inferior quality. Your face stiffened. I used up all my best treasures. The result is still poor quality, but the goal was achieved. The next second, a familiar cold voice rang out. Congratulations on reaching the only milestone. An extraordinary craftsman. The first civilization to create extraordinary items. Earn the only milestone reward. Craftsmanship and deadless sewing tools. Teleporting in progress. Your eyes suddenly lit up. Sure enough, I guessed right. The white light fell, crashing straight into his mind, like a pile of knowledge forcibly poured into the soul. You fainted on the spot, sweating all over. Amidst countless civilizational competitions, you were the first to create an extraordinary item. A few hours later, you sweat profusely, get up, grab your cup, and gulp down water. In front of him was a large bronze box. New passive abilities have also appeared. Craftsmanship talent. Your spatial imagination will greatly improve, handling any tool with greater ease. Occasionally, inspiration bursts forth. Find a clue of order in the supernatural world. You pick up the needle and thread. A sense of familiarity surged instantly. It looks like they've been sewn for 60 years. You're late. I'm almost out of all the materials. But having it is better than having nothing. I'll take a look. What are Deadless's sewing tools? You walk over. Open the box in front of you. Inside is a red box. Open again. It's a blue box. Your expression is getting stranger and stranger. Matryoshka dolls, huh? He opened 7 or 8 boxes in a row. Finally, I saw a small crystal box about the size of a pencil case. Inside the box were bronze scissors and a dagger, a ruler-like object, and 12 needles of various sizes, and a golden booklet. Trailblazer, I provides information. Deadless sewing tools. 7th Age Cretan civilization. A mysterious relic left behind by the Master Sewer Deadless. The Master committed a crime against civilization and threw it into another dimension before dying. He also claimed, from now on, no one will be able to inherit his legacy. But the alternate dimension will eventually shatter, and you will find the set of tools. You look up at the sky. That statement is a bit shameless. It's clearly a reward, yet they insist I picked it up. You suddenly realize something. The Star Alliance does not produce anything. They're just porters. The rewards I received were all remnants of other civilizations. The Trailblazers I continues to show. The main materials of this sewing tool are Oliha steel and adamantium, which are extremely durable. Inside, it includes Deadless craftsmanship insights. Artificial artifact, excellence grade. You gasp. Excellent grade tools. You work desperately to make a low-quality shield. The results are rewarded directly to the excellence level tools. Sweet dew from the heavens. You pick up the scissors. A gentle feeling wafted over. Deadless's scissors. Excellent grade equipment resonance power. When focused on use, form plus 8.1%. Energy plus 3.3%. Your eyes widened. It can also boost attributes. Isn't this just equipment? Scissors have 2 abilities. Ripper can easily cut through most materials. Flat cut. The cut surface is smooth and burrs-free. Unfortunately, it's too small, otherwise it could be used as a weapon. You picked up the dagger again. Length, 25 centimeters. The bronze edge gleamed slightly. Deadless's skin-cutting knife. Features, extremely sharp, can cut through most leather. Resonance power of excellent level equipment. When using focus, form plus 9.2%, energy plus 3.3%, spirit plus 4.5%. You wave twice. So handy. This can be used as a weapon. Then you pick up that ruler. This is the core of the entire toolkit. When pressed against leather, it can sense the veins of extraordinary objects. You use it to touch the freshly made leather shield. Sure enough, a pulse-like pulse could be heard from inside the shield. It's just that many veins have been ruined by your rough technique. You feel a bit sorry for him. Okay, at least it's still usable. Deadless's ruler. Premier equipment resonance power. Focus on use God plus 8.9%. Finally, that golden booklet. Inside, there were sesame-sized characters and strange patterns. The handbook left behind by Deadless. It records extraordinary knowledge of material applications and sewing techniques. But you lack prior knowledge. Even the great pioneers I cannot translate. Just like the Goldbach conjecture, The paper is laid out in front of you, and you still can't understand it. You're both happy and angry. All right, it really is impressive. This reward is extremely valuable for a civilization. The 7th Age Cretan civilization can develop top-tier equipment. Technology far surpasses human strength, especially the power of resonance. The equipment looks like it's alive. If human scientists could do the research, it will definitely uncover a wealth of knowledge. But for now, their use is limited. You don't have that much knowledge, nor is there a complete industrial system. At most, he used a dagger as a weapon. Clearly, you made a killing, yet he still couldn't help but sigh. It's such a waste, so wasteful. You even doubt it. The first to craft ancient level, refined grade, and excellent grade extraordinary items. There will also be new milestones. But that's too far. No one can take all the rewards. Never mind. A dagger you got for free, why not want it? Maybe I'll learn it once I dig up a few more ruins. You calm down again. The next step is to make yourself more comfortable. At this moment, you see the large round ball beside you. I've been driving for almost 2 months now. The red indicator light was still flashing. You know it's junk. He still pretended to be a master and spoke calmly. Humans have seen it, right? This is the milestone reward. I was the first civilization to create extraordinary items. So the Interstellar League gave the reward. You pat your leather shield and pick up your dagger. Step by step, a powerful civilization must always stay ahead. After saying that, you feel better. Whether or not the signal was transmitted. At least it felt good. You stayed on the Pangu Continent for 5 months. Clothing, food, housing, and transportation were basically all provided. But for humans in the safe zone, less than 2 days have passed. And in the past couple of days, Yinhai City was nearly crushed by reality. Currency collapses, bank data is gone. Mortgages and savings are all in chaos, and the internet is full of noise. The bank couldn't trace the accounts. So does that mean the mortgage doesn't have to be repaid? What if I haven't bought a house? The landlord told me to get lost, saying the money had become worthless. Don't rush to find something to eat first. The supermarket closed, and the family only had 2 days' worth of food left. Who has fever medicine? The hospital is closed. When the economy collapses, private order collapses as well. Right now, the most important thing is just 2 words. Alive? Yinhai City Government Square. Tens of thousands of people stood in a dense crowd. Li Chunhong only slept 4 hours. His eyes were bloodshot. He grabbed a megaphone and started shouting directly. Folks, don't rush yet. Let me explain the latest policy for you. Article 1 guarantees the right of all citizens to live in housing. The crowd immediately fell silent. Li Chunhong continued. The first house belongs to the individual. No matter how big you are, no matter how much you borrow, it all belongs to you. The Yinhai municipal government protects residents' private property. When he said this, many people breathed a sigh of relief. But the next second, Li Chunhong changed his tone. But the second house, all the extra houses will be collectively owned. The crowd was in an uproar. Someone is in a hurry. Why? Li Chunhong lowered his voice directly. Because now some people have nowhere to live. We are no longer on Earth. This is a new world, not the old one. If they want to survive, they must first stabilize everyone. He spoke very firmly. Because there was no choice. Tenants cannot be evicted. Young people cannot lose control. The landlord still has at least one owner-occupied residence. That's the bottom line. Li Chunhong then threw more punches. Large supermarkets and granaries have been strictly controlled. The criminals have already been apprehended. Network communications are being restored. If you have an urgent matter, call the mayor's hotline. Food issues. Everyone brought their ID cards to the community to collect a week's worth of rations. The food may not be good, but it will definitely fill everyone up. Infant formula and diapers are also in stock. Parents can collect it with their birth certificate. The crowd was clearly steady. Then he emphasized the tone. We have a year's grain reserve. No worries in the short term. But production must be resumed in the long term. Everyone can plant vegetables on balconies or open spaces. There is no outside aid now. We can only rely on ourselves. Once society falls into chaos, all that awaits us is destruction. As soon as he finished speaking, a soldier shouted loudly. All of them, standing upright and saluting. A row of soldiers saluted in unison. Distribute food to the people. Unity is strength. Overcome difficulties together. Soldiers unloaded supplies from large trucks. People lining up. Collect the grain and return home. Order in the square gradually stabilized. Li Chunhong finally breathed a sigh of relief. A young staff member nearby muttered quietly. I wonder how other cities are doing. I guess it's probably a 0 yuan purchase. Li Chunhong listened with mixed feelings. This is indeed a competition among civilizations. Yinhai City could suppress the situation so quickly, but other cities might not be able to. Right now, it's just short-term stability. Next, employment needs to be restored. designing a new monetary system, restoring economic operations. Soon, the call came again. Mr. Lee's hospital should control his medications. Many medicines we can no longer produce. Li Chunhong was silent for a long time. The government is under enormous pressure to provide a safety net now, but people cannot help but save them. He spoke. The medicine that needs to be used still needs to be used. Save those who need to be saved, especially pregnant women and children. They're the future. But we cannot afford unlimited medical insurance. Discuss sustainable solutions to cut costs as soon as possible. The other end of the line said softly. Pharmaceutical factories are difficult to get started. Raw materials ran out. It may take 3 to 5 years to find a replacement. Li Chunhong rubbed his temples. Finally, he said, focus on caring for pregnant women and children. I'll sign the signature accordingly. The times are pressing. There are always people who want to be the bad guys. Meanwhile, the pressure from the supernatural world is also pressing down. Mutated plants and animals have appeared. There are more superpowered people. No one really understood what the extraordinary fire seed was. At this moment, Li Chunhong received a call from the supernatural laboratory. He immediately asked, is Chen Fan still alive? Professor Zhang Hui's voice on the other end of the line was excited. Alive? He delivered important information. We're trying to find a way to get in touch with him. Supernatural laboratory. You sent me more than 2 months of video. Most of the content is leather, making clothes. At first, the researcher was still fresh. The more you watch, the more numb everyone gets. The amount of information about sewing is limited. So the focus shifted to the wolf pack. How are these wolves domesticated? Especially the growth rate of the wolf cubs, which is worth recording. Until the end. You take out the spider's back pattern and start making a shield. The researchers instantly perked up. That eyeball pattern has a problem. I stared at it with a sense of dread. This is a supernatural effect. Someone, as usual, made a sarcastic remark. How great it would be for research. The next second, a beam of teleportation sliced down on the screen. The ground trembles. Everyone shuddered in fear. In the footage, Chen Fan was struck by the white light and writhed on the ground in pain. The smoke cleared. A large bronze chest appeared from the teleportation beam. The laboratory instantly fell into dead silence. What is it? Where did the box come from? Wait until you regain your clarity. Take out scissors, dagger, ruler, needle, and a booklet. Everyone felt even more regretful. At this moment, a researcher suddenly shouted, time out. Look at the edge of the scissors. The light and shadow near the scissors distorted. The laboratory instantly fell silent. This is a phenomenon of supernatural interference. In the usual laboratory, it can only be observed under a microscope, but now it is macro intervention. Other words, this pair of scissors is no ordinary item. Instead, it was a powerful supernatural artifact. Look at the dagger. There's also. The researchers felt their scalps tingle. Followed by. In the picture, you stand in front of the big round ball and start acting like a master. Humans have seen it, right? This is the milestone reward. I was the first civilization to create extraordinary items. The lab was completely blown up. Milestone rewards. Interstellar League really will give something. This is too much information. Professor Zhang Hui was woken up from the next room. He had only slept for 2 hours, his eyes bloodshot. What happened? Professor Zhang looked at this. He glanced at the picture and almost lost his balance. Macroscopic supernatural interference. The next second, the communicator rang wildly. The 6th branch of human civilization has initiated a communication request. Branch 7 initiates a communication request. Professor Edward is online. The old man had dark circles under his eyes, his whole face flushed red. Oh my God, let's see what Chen Fan has gained. A chest of treasure fell from the sky. Then Edward pulled over a young man. This is my assistant, Jacob. He has telepathic abilities. Zhang Hui immediately asked, can you contact Chen Fan? Jacob shook his head. No, we've never met. If he can touch his personal clothes, there might be a slight chance. Zhang Hui frowned. Both sides would have to open up their safe zones. Not possible in the short term. Subsequently, chief scientists from various cities have been coming online one after another. Everyone discussed one question. That box was a reward from the Interstellar Alliance. This finding is crucial. Civilizations can actively seek milestones to accelerate development. Everyone immediately looked toward the milestone interface of the metal sphere. Civilization milestones displayed in the 9th era. 1. End chaos and become a stable civilization. 3. Withdraw the safe zone and advance toward the Pangu Continent. Unknown factors affect database corruption and cannot be detected. Zhang Hui's heart was pounding wildly at the first sight. Stable civilization quality. Is Yanhai City almost finished? He probed. Everyone, has the chaos in your city ended? A brown-skinned professor gave a wry smile. Power has not yet been restored. The mall was robbed. The roads were blocked and dead. I hide in the study of all military protection. Edward sighed. We've completely collapsed. I now serve several large conglomerates. Ordinary people are powerless to help. Zhang Hui was sweating on his forehead as he listened. This world is truly surreal. Someone pressed for answers. Isn't Yanhai City always stable? Zhang Hui immediately started a Tai Chi ritual. Human nature is universal. Chaos is inevitable under the panic. Everyone nodded. They loved hearing that. Li Chunhong listened in attendance. He immediately asked Zhang Hui, "We're pretty much stable now. Why is there no reward? What exactly is a stable civilization lacking?" Zhang Hui pondered. Hydropower may not be the key. After all, some civilizations don't even have technology. Everyone began to guess. Grain, birth rate, or is it the average life expectancy? At this moment, a young doctor whispered, "I think it's a legacy. Only civilizations that can be passed down are stable." Li Chunhong's eyes lit up. Inheritance. Educate. Without education, there is no next generation. Without the next generation, civilization will end. He immediately called. Arrange for the school to resume immediately. The secretary's office was shocked. Now arrange for the children to attend school. Is it important? Li Chunhong said directly. Of course it does. Aren't the teachers still here? Let them take office. Parents can only feel at ease when their child can attend school through the internet. Taking a safety class in the supernatural era is also fine. Notify now. Simply put, it's about setting the conditions. Get the milestone in hand first. Soon, the education department issued a notice, welcoming a new era, looking ahead to the new future, open to all primary, secondary, and higher education institutions. The first lesson of the new semester. Enhance students' safety awareness and discover a whole new world. Parents saw the news. In fact, I feel much more at ease. Schools are about to open. That means the city isn't finished. The children all broke down together. Dad, I don't want to go to school. Mom, I haven't had enough vacation yet. Opposition invalid. A little girl asked in a residential building. Dad, where are you going? The middle-aged man picked up the medicine. Bring some fever medicine to the neighbor. The boy asked in another apartment. Mom, what are you doing? My mother said as she organized the supplies. Didn't they say they were supposed to recycle the trash? I'll pack up what I could donate. A civilization cannot rely solely on heroes. More often, it is countless people who fulfill their duties. Do not do evil, do not cause trouble, willing to lend a hand. Suddenly, a cold voice echoed above the city. Everyone heard it. Congratulations to the civilization you belong to. Milestone completed, stable civilization. Achievement requirement, top 100,000 among all civilizations. Restore internal chaos and establish a stable civilization legacy. Current ranking of the first branch of human civilization, 789. If history is a great river, thus civilization represents the strongest mainstream of history. A stable civilization. It can take history to a farther place. Everyone's pupils in the lab dilated. The next second, the young doctors cheered immediately. Done. We have reached this milestone. Ranked 789th. Zhang Hui trembled all over, his eyes bloodshot. Li Chunhong also clenched his fists. At that moment, the thrill really kicked in. Yanhai City doesn't rely on luck. It depends on order. It all depends on execution. Someone shouted urgently. What about rewards? Could it be that 789th place doesn't get a reward? That voice continued to fall. Your civilization has earned the 789th milestone reward. 1 medium-level extraordinary plant, 12 low-level extraordinary plants. Random mutations occur in the civilization's plants. Rewards are being delivered. The next second, several streaks of white light descended from the sky, directly entering all directions of Yanhai City. Someone in the lab exclaimed, "Where did the white light come from? I don't know if it appeared like a shooting star." Professor Zhang Hui's eyes lit up. A total of 13 extraordinary plants. One of them was even a medium-sized extraordinary plant. What is this concept? As long as even one plant is related to grain, the food crisis could be directly broken. Stable cities immediately exchange for real resources. Not just a slogan, not a spiritual reward. It's something that can save lives. Zhang Hui immediately turned his head. Mr. Li must find out immediately. Otherwise, the reward would be wasted. In case important plants are damaged by animals. That would be truly infuriating. Li Chunhong snapped back to reality and couldn't help but burst out laughing. Hold your horses. I'll contact the militia right away. After saying that, he crossed his arms and looked up at the sky. He was definitely one step ahead, but soon he frowned. but it was only ranked 789. It was only the second day of entering the safe zone. We still relied on Chen Fan's information to reach this milestone. The previous 788 civilizations moved so fast. Zhang Hui thought for a moment. No one can say for sure about an alien civilization. There may be civilizations and technology far superior to ours, but it's not chaotic at all. This is already very good. Li Chunong nodded, unable to become overly satisfied and lose control. Let's see what extraordinary plants really are. There are many witnesses to the white light landing spot. In addition, the militia conducted a citywide search. All 13 extraordinary plants were quickly found. Protected. This is not just simple grass. This is the wealth of the entire Yunhai city. So-called random plants are indeed quite random. Among the 13 plants, weeds are the most common. Foxtail grass and morning glory. There are also phoenix trees and pine trees. Mutated. But for now, it's unclear what use it is. All I can say is that the future is promising. But 2 of these plants instantly ignited the entire scene. The first plant is rice. It is growing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Each grain of rice is plump like soybeans. Someone's voice trembled. This is rice. Does it have reproductive ability? Quickly identify. A young girl stepped forward. She is an appraisal ability. The entire Yunhai city. Only 3 people awaken this ability. She stared at the rice. His eyes widened. His face flushed red. After a long while, she ran and sat down. It has reproductive ability. Both the yield and growth rate are much higher than those of normal rice. There is also a small amount of protein, which is very nutritious. The scene was instantly quiet. Then the suppressed cheers erupted. Grain. This is food. Yunhai City is saved. Zhang Hui immediately supported the girl. Sorry for your hard work. Get some good rest. This time, the appraisal value was revealed. As long as it spreads widely, the food crisis in Yunhai City is very likely to be resolved. Immediately, everyone rushed to the second key site. It was a large peach tree. The little peach tree is lush and green, about to drip with a fresh fragrance that is enticing. But it is not an ordinary peach tree, because it will attack. A passing cat wants to eat a peach. They were directly attacked by branches. Someone gasped. This is a medium-level extraordinary plant, although dangerous. But the fruit is definitely not simple. Another appraisal attempted to appraise it, but the result was deathly pale, and he failed outright. Zhang Hui said immediately, maybe the peach tree is higher than you. Take a break. Don't push yourself too hard. By dawn, all 13 plants have been confirmed. Li Chunhong immediately gave the order. Find a way to transplant them into greenhouses. Assign guards first, especially this peach tree. Keep children away from the area. The soldier nodded in understanding. Everyone laughed with ease. Someone looked at the peach tree and couldn't help but speak. Will this thing turn into a peach tree? Eat 1 pill to prolong life. It's not impossible, but I think it's more reliable to use it first to make medicine. Meanwhile, Pangu Continent. Winter has arrived. Heavy snow piles down upon heaven and earth. Stepping on the snow, each step leaves a deep pit. He exhaled in one breath. Instantly turned into white frost. You wrap yourself tightly in a fire lizard fur coat. Standing on a high slope, he looked toward the distant giant, struggling creature. High-level extraordinary plant, giant man-eating flower. It has grown for at least 1,000 years, and is suspected to have been cultivated by the Meidas civilization. Fruits are very beneficial for the evolution of life. The current low temperature, in a semi-dormant state, its predation intensity drops significantly. But even if you charge at it with a big spike, you'll still get eaten. A tribute? Question mark, question mark. Don't take a snooze and half sleep. Golden opportunity. The problem was how to get some fruit from there. You curse and cough, wrap up your clothes. The weather is way too cold. Minus 30 to 40 degrees. Old wolf, come here. It came reluctantly. Toll. Its meaning is clear. Why are you out here in the middle of winter? The wolf of the Pangu Continent. To cope with harsh environments, it has evolved hibernation abilities. Before winter, they feasted like crazy. Eat until you're fat and strong. Then they huddled together to keep warm. Only the old wolf was awake, because it treats her dog as food in full. No hibernation is required. Today I came out planning to make a big win. No poisonous insects, no venomous snakes. It's the golden time to pick up trash and steal treasures. Just thinking about this makes your eyes light up. Shield in the left hand, dagger in the right. Heading straight for the goal through the snow. Soon you see a bulging mound. On the hilltop, a massive plant standing 100 meters tall. The trees bear fruits that look like corn cobs. The explorer's eye provides information. Medium-grade, extraordinary plant from the grass family, corn. Giant corn that has grown for at least 1,000 years. Evolving from herbaceous plants to perennial woody plants. The fruit and seeds are rich in nutrients. You're so tempted by those corn eyes that you're tempted. I've been reminding my shop of this for a long time. Where there is treasure, there's a guardian. A giant bear sleeps in a corn tree hollow. The explorer I chose. The strong panga grizzly. Standing 2.8 meters tall and weighing nearly 1 ton. Long-term consumption of corn has evolved extraordinary talents. Ability, superhuman strength, technique. Transcendent level, 1. You twitch the corner of your mouth. That slap would kill the person instantly. You don't want to fight head-on, because it's not necessary. You have plenty of fire lizard meat. 1 gene a day can last 1,800 days. Moreover, there were 2 cubs beside the mother bear. You whispered, the bear cub can't be without a mother. Steal some corn and leave. You turn to Old Wolf and say, go lure it away. Old Wolf's hind legs trembled, and his expression changed. Bro, I'm level 0. Look at you like that. Just a level 1 extraordinary creature. In the end, you still give up and let die. It sleeps on my own. Finished. You told Old Wolf to be alert and approach the corn tree. In the distance, the mother bear's snoring was deafening. You quietly climbed up the corn tree. A class of good guys. A single corn stalk half a meter long weighs dozens of gene. Just stuff it into your storage space. 2 sticks. 10 roots. 20 sticks. Enough. But the next second, one by one. Roar. The mother bear is awake. It instantly flew into a rage when it saw you steal corn, climb a tree, and try to smack you to death. In the distance, the old wolf shouted guiltily. Whoa. It has no effect at all in attracting firepower. You can't help but curse it. It's really unreliable. He leapt into the snow. His left hand immediately raised a shield. The spider's eyeball pattern is directly facing the mother bear. Brother has something to say. See, I didn't steal anything from you. The mother bear was clearly startled when she saw the eyeball pattern on the shield. Then it looks at the corn tree. Looking at you again. Is there too little corn? But you don't have corn in your hand. The mother bear grew even angrier. The thick bear paw slammed into the snow. Roar. The extraordinary spark in your mind flickered slightly. The momentum spread out. A distinguished class dagger in his hand. It shimmered with a dark golden hue in the snowlight. You said coldly, Mother bear, if you come any closer, I'll have no choice but to eat bear paw. The mother bear hesitated. Its beastly intuition is spot on. That dagger could cut through its skin. You spread your arms and shouted. He shouted as he slowly retreated. Facing off against beasts, you must have strong momentum. At that moment, 2 cubs of bears emerged from the snow. Cough. They stare at you with a dark glow. You twitched the corner of your mouth, and your right hand reached into the storage space. A fish appears in your hand. Mother bear was stunned. Where did the fish come from? You nodded. This time, the mother bear is on me. Next time I come, I'll treat you again. You wave your hand. The big fish traced an arc and landed directly into the mother bear's mouth. The mother bear was so frightened she vomited. Smelled the fresh ones. It was clearly shaken. How long has it been since I last ate fish? You're still weird. Then you throw in 2 more egg yolk pies. Actually, it's the fire lizard meat sandwiched with bird eggs. It is highly attractive to wildlife. The 2 little bears immediately went to snatch it. The mother bear roared in anger and slapped the 2 cubs away with her bear paw. Didn't Mom teach you before? Give the things thrown by strangers to Mom first. When I look up again, you've already disappeared. Corn in hand. You taught Old Wolf on the way back. See it. The Jianghu isn't about fighting and killing. It's about human relationships and social etiquette. Today, build good relationships. Tomorrow, you won't have to steal or rob to eat corn. Old Wolf really admires you. In the past, the wolf pack never dared approach that bear. Follow you now. They actually managed to get corn from a bear's den. But you haven't gone home, because the journey of picking up trash is just beginning. You've come to the Poison Bee King's territory again. Now that we got the corn, we'll add some mutated honey. I've been waiting a long time for honeycorn cakes. This swarm of bees coexists with man-eating flowers. Man-eating flowers do not eat them. They have evolved rapidly by gathering nectar over long periods. Every bee is as big as a fist. The Poison Bee King is even at the mini-boss level. But winter is their mortal enemy. Now they all hide in their nests and huddle together for warmth. This hive was huge, with a diameter of 20 to 30 meters. As soon as you get close, bees fly out. You immediately retreat. They fly back to keep warm. How to find mine? If you can't get in from the front, use the bottom. You take out a shovel and dig a secret passage in the snow. He dug all the way to the bottom of the hive. Then he gripped Daedalus' skin cleaver. A gentle poke. The dagger pierced straight into the hive. Excellent grade weapons are ridiculously strong. You pull out the head, bringing out a handful of waxy yellow juice. Licked a little. Not honey. A little fishy. Bucket to the point of collapse. You pick out the bee eggs and stuff them into Old Wolf's mouth. Old Wolf immediately beamed with excitement, almost smacking his lips. Make a few more eggs, fill a small bottle, and stop immediately. Then switch positions and bucket again. This time luck came. Bright yellow honey flowed down the dagger, licked with the tip of his tongue. Sweet and smooth. Your eyes light up. This day is in for a treat. He quietly took out a glass jar to scoop up the honey. Amber honey is poured into a transparent jar like a giant gemstone. You fill a few jars and then stop. Sustainable development. But cannot be bald. Today is already a bumper harvest. But you're still not satisfied, because you truly want to eat. It's the fruit of a giant man-eating flower. That fruit was like a dragon fruit. I've been tempting you for months. Once winter is over, there's no chance left. Even if you reach level 2 or 3, it's still hard to beat it head-on. You stared fiercely into the distance. We must get as many as we can. The method is simple. Dig a tunnel. Since it can out my bees, maybe it could even surpass the man-eating flower. You wave at Old Wolf. You go home and eat fish first. I'm gonna make a big deal. Old Wolf listened. He ran off without looking back. It had long been fed up with this icy world. Eating royal jelly and lying down is the real thing. Subsequently, you pick up a shovel and start digging tunnels in the snow. The territory of the man-eating flower is a full kilometer. Freezing to the bone, I ate some honey to warm up. Then the shovel fell. One more beat, one knock, and one after another. You find yourself truly stronger. It's not just power and willpower. A 1-kilometer tunnel takes several days to dig. If the man-eating flower discovers you, all your efforts will be wasted. So you start digging at night. During the day, bury yourself in the snow and remain motionless. You used to be someone you didn't even dare to imagine. Now I'm just going for it. Sooner or later, I will leave here. Whether it's milestones or strength, all to return to the homeland of humanity. But the idea immediately fought back. Can I go back? Meda civilization materials are enough to study for a lifetime. How many extraordinary levels are there? Level 10, 100 level cadre level. At last, the brain and body provide the answer together. You must go home. You think of Earth. I thought of that quiet and elegant girl. A sunny morning. She was wearing a pink knitwear, like a happy little deer. Then I crashed into your arms. That moment stayed with me for a long time. Your face suddenly turned awkward. What was her name? Nameless eating talk spreads everywhere. The shovel in your hand almost slipped from your hand. At this moment, the extraordinary fire in his mind suddenly jumped. You wake up instantly. Something's wrong, I'm not right. The eye of the pioneers immediately gave a hint. Current status. Mild hypothermia pollen poisoning. Your expression changed. Pollen. This damn thing can even play like this. You immediately activate the alternate space to protect yourself. The next moment, you gasp for breath. The extraordinary fire seed kept pulsating. Clears toxins from the lungs and brain. You always thought, the most troublesome part of man-eating flowers is the vines. Who knows? A little pollen in the air almost killed you. And it's still winter. If I take a breath in spring, I'd probably die right away. You wipe your cold sweat. We've come this far, it's no use. Having learned a lesson means being more cautious. Dig for an hour. He hid in another space to rest for a while. The progress was ridiculously slow. But you didn't stop, because this vote had to be done. A few days later, you buried yourself in the snow when you suddenly heard wolves coming from afar. Coughing and chirping. It was Old Wolf. You didn't respond. The territory of the man-eating flower is too dangerous, and you dare not make a sound. Old Wolf didn't dare to barge in. Standing on a high slope, I chatted for a while before finally leaving. You know it in your heart. It is looking for you. The next day it came again. This time, it beat for an entire day. The third day came again. Animal emotions are simple. It treats you as the most important person. You disappeared, and it was anxious. You pause for a moment and continue digging. Day 7. You finally dig your destination. The man-eating flower's branches and leaves cover the sky. The snow on the ground was actually not thick. This is even more dangerous. We must be more careful. The thick tree shape stands tall. Occasionally, a leaf falls. When struck in the snow, it was as hard as iron. It didn't take long. A powerful aura pressed down on him. Your breath deepens. No wonder he's the big boss. This aura was far stronger than the fire lizards. You slowly dig through the snow layer with a shovel. Finally, those fruits were seen. Under the moonlight. Each one is crystal clear, heavy, and hangs on the branches. The nearest string is 50 meters high. The trailblazer's eye appeared. A strange, life-rich fruit. It has generally been nurtured for over 300 years. The greatest fruit. The growth and extinction of the Meda civilization may have been nurturing for nearly 1,000 years. Countless creatures were just waiting for a bite. It has become fertilizer for the roots of man-eating plants. A rare grade natural wonder. Your eyes suddenly brightened. This trip is worth it. You rubbed your frozen fingers. Then he took out Daedalus' skin cutter. This excellent grade dagger must not be lost. You tie the dagger with a thin string. He then concentrated the power of the extraordinary fire seed into his eyes and right hand. The goal is clear. Not fruit. It is the root of the branches. Just cut off an entire branch, and dozens of fruits are yours. You stared at your target and whispered, "Hit!" His fingers suddenly exerted force, and the dagger shot out like lightning. He precisely cut a notch at the branch. Not bad, I'll come again. Whoosh, second hit. The third and fourth times. The man-eating flower did not immediately fly into a rage. Plants are ultimately not animals. If it's a beast, he had already jumped up to look for someone. But this branch is more like a hair to it. Half a day passed. You've poked countless gaps at the roots of the branches. The load-bearing capacity is continuously declining. Finally, after another precise throw, the branches reached their limit. The next moment, crash. The entire branch broke. Branches, snowflakes, and fruits crashed heavily onto the ground. One of the sparkling fruits comes straight to your door. Your heart is pounding wildly, but you didn't rush out, because the man-eating flower has awakened. A tremendous tremor came from the ground. Pockets covered in jagged spikes slowly opened. It is looking for enemies. You don't hesitate. The alternate dimension vanished instantly. This time, the commotion was too big. The man-eating flower frantically searched its surroundings. You hid in the alternate dimension for 6 hours. He only came out when it was completely quiet outside. Then he retreated back into the underground cave and lay there all day. Until late at night, you dig back and start harvesting the fruit. 1, 2, 10. A full 42 of them. The small ones look like pineapples, the big ones look like watermelons. The fresh fragrance kept wafting into his nose. You drool like crazy. He wished he could bite open right then and there. But it's not safe here. Stuff everything into the storage space. Then he set his sights on a flower bud nearby. It is hallucinogenic pollen. It may be useful in the future. You hold your breath. I mustered up the courage to transfer the flower bud inside as well. Mission accomplished. The fruit is in hand. The flower bud is in hand. This vote was a huge win. Next, you begin to cautiously return the way you came. Half a day later, finally leaving the territory of the man-eating flower, standing outside the safe range. He glanced back at the colossal creature. At that moment, the thrill surged straight to the top of his head. You didn't win it head-on, but you won it with your brain. This is wisdom. This is humanity. Ha! You turn and dash away. Time to go home and eat some fruit. An old wolf heard your footsteps from a kilometer away. Ming Ming burst out of the snow, excited and sliding all the way. Fall and get up. Keep falling and climbing. Finally, he leapt high and nearly knocked you over. It thinks you're dead. Maybe they're even preparing to inherit your estate. But you came back alive again. But its happiness is not just an act. You rubbed its big head. All right. Let's have a good meal today. The wind and snow still linger. One man and one wolf walk through the snow toward home.